and welcome to today's live stream. If you're watching this in the replay, we are just showing you that we have new items in the shop. We'll be picking some orders, and then we will be making some dragon style like fang earrings that I have not made any of yet, but I've made the pendants, and those are part of the shop update. So just to show y'all an example, and I've just glued these on and I didn't wait long enough, so they're probably gonna fall off, but whatever. So this is a large example of what we'll be making today. This used a 15 millimeter bead, and honestly I think that would just be so cute even as a big earring, and it's a little heavy with that 15 millimeter tiger's eye, but we're going to be making some today. Just where did I pull this from? I think I pulled it from right there, but we're going to be making some. This is the beads that I have pulled. So we've got a lot of 12 millimeter right around that size. We've got some azurite, malachite. We have some glass pearls. I want to see how those bake, because I figure even if they just get like weird in the oven, well, now we know. Some more tiger's eye because it's my favorite. Some faceted like purple swirly glass, some natural rose quartz, some faceted dyed rose quartz, just because sometimes you want something a little pinker, some unakite, and then some faceted glass. So those are the beads that I have pulled. If you're going to be crafting along with me today, you might want to get your hands on some 18 gauge wire or the thickest wire that will fit through your bead. And then also I'm using some Sculpting glow-in-the-dark clay that I'll need to have the oven preheating at 275 degrees Fahrenheit. Boop. That's blurry and backwards, but it just used the instructions on your own clay. Well, hey, Kelly. Hey, Barbie. Oh, it's so good to see you. How are you doing? Hey, Bodega. How's everybody doing today? So yeah, we're going to be making some jewelry. And speaking of which, let me go ahead and get comments pulled up on my tablet so I can actually read what's going on. We're going to be making some jewelry, but we also have some new items in the shop at backtoearthcreations.com. And if you are interested, be sure to use coupon code HAPPYCRAFTER to get 10% off of your order. So Randy's back there picking orders for me now, actually, I think. So thank you to everybody who is in our Happy Crafter Club. So that's our YouTube channel members, the folks who get our kits, and our Patreon supporters. All y'all are the first ones to find out. I actually sent an email out to you guys yesterday evening letting you know that we had some new items in the shop, and so that's why we already have a couple of sales made today. In fact, let me just show you. Let's say bye-bye to the ones that have already found their new homes. So, and I will be pairing these with oh, goodness gracious. I hope it survived. This one already, okay, yeah, it's good. This one already found its new home. I can't be dropping stuff, but everybody say bye-bye to this one. All the things that we added to the shop update were things that, for the most part, were things that were made either in tutorials or in our Friday live streams where it's here hanging out with all y'all. So Barbie says, much better now that I can eat real food and not hospital food. Oh my God. So are you home now, Barbie? Welcome home. Oh my gosh, you had us so worried. Hey, Kelly, doing well. Thank you for asking. Well, hey, Betty. Miss Fortune says, hi. You said dragon. I came running right on. Well, today, let me show you real quick. We are going to be making some earrings that go along with this style of pendant, which for those of y'all who hang out in our Kick live streams, we made one of these, I think, on Monday afternoon's live stream. And so this is a 15 millimeter tiger's eye that we used glow-in-the-dark polymer clay to sculpt this little like fang or talon, I don't know, but I just thought they'd be the cutest as earrings, but I ran out of 15 millimeter beads. So now we're going to be using some 12 millimeter beads because I'm scared of making little sculptures. So I figured I can do this one. Let's size it down just a little. And then maybe if that works out, we'll size it down just a little. And then if that works, like I want to see if I can do some little like 4 millimeter ones, because I don't have multiple piercings, but I can make a custom ear cuff or ear wrap that has like big boy and then slightly smaller all the way up. Like that would be so cool. And then we're also going to be releasing a tutorial this week showing how to make your very own little dragon pixie, glue it on your own face horns. So thank you so much to the person who bought this one here. We do have some other ones, some other pendants that are hand sculpted polymer clay up on the shop. Oh, and then we have some beautiful, not to toot my own horn, but toot toot. Sometimes you just gotta toot your own horn. But oh, I'm really pleased with how these dichroic glass, we made these in our home kiln. And we sell them on our website, backtoearthcreations.com. And we have to drink water every time I say that, apparently. But yeah, that's some fused glass. So it's just so much fun. It has the durability of glass, but the beauty of, I don't know, you can kind of decide for yourself. And I love that they're very color fast. So it's not like whenever I would work with resin and foils and things where the resin scratches up really easily. The glass is, even if it breaks in half, we can still turn it into something. But there's the other dichroic glass. We're just picking the orders. That's probably one of my favorite colors, like in the world. Oh, well, thank you so much, Miss Fortune says, amazing. Hey, Peaceful, how are you doing? Can I give $100? I mean, I have some jewelry for sale. You can use coupon code HAPPYCRAFTER to get 10% off, but you can do whatever you like. It's your money. Money is the root of all evil. Let me purge you of it. Now, one of my favorite things that we
say, send an email.
Randy says send an email. Also, it could just be a spammer. Like, I don't know.
I know, but that's why I say send an email.
Right on. Randy says send an email. Right on. Oh, I need to turn that down. I forgot to get the tablet pulled up. So
if they're not a spammer, I don't want YouTube to get $40 of it.
Oh, could y'all hear Randy saying that? He says that if that's not a spammer, he doesn't want YouTube to be getting $40 of it. But I will take free money, y'all. I'm not a proud person. I've got a trench dug in my front yard and no running water. Are you kidding me? Which today's stream might be super short. If the plumber shows up. So he was supposed to get the drill bit from Amazon, which makes me feel like super professional, but they have to dig through like a 4-foot section of the foundation to run the plumbing because I'm just not even going to get into it. But we've made another sale, which makes me really, really happy. So this paint it your own self dragon mask is going off to its new home. And we have this stretchy elastic cord that goes with it and a whole tutorial showing you how to paint your own as well. So that one's going to its new home. And because I never want to like dox anybody, but being like, this person bought these things. But part of that same order, y'all, which I can't even believe, check out, I forgot I made this. Like, this has been on the website for so long, just sitting in its inventory envelope, waiting patiently for its new home. Look at that beautiful lab. My goodness, that's one of the prettiest rocks I've seen all day. Oh, thank you so much, Bodega. We are in the final stretch of it, but we don't anticipate seeing the plumber again before Monday, just based off the past. Like, this is what day is it? It's the 27th? It's day 32 with no running water, y'all. That's okay, though. Randy and I are resilient, and we are blessed with friends who are letting us fill up jugs at their house, as well as take showers at their house. And then we also take showers at the YMCA, which is just free, which that's very nice. So thank goodness for that. But it makes me feel, though, for the folks who are up north with no power or no water in like whole communities, because like for me it's just my house. Like I can go and like to a gas station with a flushing toilet and running water, like, you know. So that's just how that is. Well, hey, Pro Pool. So this is another one. I love this one. Do you see that little like rainbow? Which the person who got it, like, I hope that they know how special that is, just based off of like their screen name and their whole. Randy is a mythical, unexplainable creature that is rarely seen and heard. If Yvonne believes hard enough, she can sometimes will him into reality, often bearing gifts of coffee. Oh, I haven't read that in ages. No coffee today, though. I already drank it all, but it was good. Oh my God, you guys. Okay, so let me show you this cab because it's gorgeous. I love it. Look at that. That's more that dichroic glass, y'all. And my horns are probably going to keep falling off because I didn't like wait for the glue to dry. I was just like, I had it already, and then I went all dramatically and knocked them both off right before the stream. So I was like, ah! But why is your head like chicken? Randy's a specter. Oh, did you delete it already?
Delete what?
Somebody had asked. Stormy says, just to let you know, you've got dragon horns growing out of your forehead, girl. I'm testing this new design. These are hand sculpted out of polymer clay and they glow in the dark, but I just wanted to test and see how I did something different on the bottoms that I'm hoping will increase the adhesion. Like, because our other ones that we cast out of resin are like completely flat on the back. And so I think I like these ones. I'm just very blah and keep knocking stuff over. Um, Amir says, I made it to level 7 when you were not there. Why is your hair like chicken? Because I love chickens. Or do you mean like K-fried C chicken? But no, I wanted something fabulous. Giggity. Suction cups, kind of. I was hoping for a little bit of a suction cuppy effect, like suction cuppy, but I didn't want it to leave like cupping marks on my forehead. But I'm pretty pleased so far because I can go like this. And yep, didn't fall off. Boom. Tested and tried and tested. Okay, we're also, this one's going to its new home. And we made this one together in last week's Friday live stream. Oh, well, thank you, Barbie. I love it too. But I'm so excited. So thank you to everybody who has placed orders with this week's shop update. That's all the orders that have been placed, but I just want to show you guys the couple more pieces that we do have up for sale. If you're going to be crafting along with me today, I would recommend going ahead and getting whatever polymer clay, which we did send out 2 different colors of polymer clay into each of the level 2 and up craft along kits for the month of February. So hopefully you will have the stuff to be able to craft along with me on this. Get a bit of it conditioned out, probably like about, half an ounce of it maximum to make these earrings. Conditioned and rolled out to the thickest setting on your pasta machine, or around 3 millimeters. So go ahead and, while I'm just chit-chatting away, we can be getting that ready. So this one is the sister piece to the one that I'm wearing here, and both of them are actually currently for sale, and these are from the tutorial that we had done where I showed how to, I wanted to experiment more into like mixed media pieces, where, because I love doing fused glass and I love doing wire wrapping. And this one actually doesn't have any chainmail in it, but I thought it would look really cool to do like some Byzantine chainmail links in between those gems, like the glass link beads. But so this one's looking for its new home, but I hadn't done any with polymer clay, and using that Cos clay, which is a rubberized polymer clay, enabled us to do that braid there. And so, which I just love these, like, yeah, it's just, I just love it. Sorry, I love like beads with holes in them. Oh, well, thank you, Pro. You're not cool. I never once, actually, I'm quite sweaty. I never once pretended to be cool, y'all. I've been a dork since the day I was born, but I'm having fun. So then there's this one, which I think is my favorite. And so you can see the difference. This was like one of the pearlescent Sculpey colors for the braids. And then this one was that gray Cos clay. So both of the clays, even if it's not a rubberized clay, it still held up pretty well. Oh, thank you so much, Peace Wolf. That is such a cool idea. It's a lot of fun, and I can't wait to do more pieces like it, because it's basically making your own super thick gallery wire. So as opposed to using a piece of like hammered copper or something, I bet we could do some cool stuff with stamped polymer clay. Like, I don't know, the sky's the limit. So that's it. I gotta grow my graying hair. Yes, Stormy. Okay, if I missed any questions, kind of like pasties. Actually, almost just like pasties purple. But for your forehead, so yeah, we're gonna be cranking our polymer clay over here. Hopefully you can still hear me. I'm gonna talk loud if I can. And I'm going to pull this a little closer so I can see what you're saying. My gears are turning now. Ah, right, Simone? And I thought it'd be a cool, come on, we got to get the chair to come down. Nope. There we go. Okay. What are we doing? I thought it'd be really cool to be able to do like some bracelets in that same manner. So what I've done is we took our block of Sculpey polymer clay. Sculpey Primo is my favorite. And I've cut it into like 1/8 or thicker, like round about there, little slices. And then it's on the thickest setting on our pasta machine. And I like to get my legs like underneath the table. That way I can like hold it, brace it, and I just pass it through. So even whenever I have a kind of crumbly clay, which this stuff is not, it's perfectly malleable, just cutting it close to the thickness that I'm going to be feeding it through lets me like warm it up a little. Simone says, Grandma, Grandma mode activated. Oh, I want to bake. I can't wait till we get running water again. Totally thinking steampunk with that. Yes, like you could take little like gears and sprockets and like stamp them in. Stormy Nessie says, I love mixed media. I made faux rag agate first time and looked great with wire wrap. Oh, right on. What brand did you use? And can I be nosy and ask if you incorporated any translucent clays into that? But yeah, and so we've got a crumbly edge here. I'm just going to fold that in. Yeah, you probably can't see. Good luck. We have a tutorial coming out on YouTube. So if you're intrigued, be sure to like sign up for our free newsletter because YouTube can't be trusted to send notifications. And but we send out a newsletter whenever we have new tutorials, when we have live streams, when we have shop updates. But and we put in like coupons and stuff, and it's a little bit more like a little bit of a, I try to treat it like it's a note to my friends. So like our newsletter folks were the first ones to find out when our water line busted. And you know, so it's a nice way to stay in touch without having to rely on an algorithm. And then y'all are able to just click reply and ask any questions or, you know, give any suggestions or just let me know how your day is. I only use Fimo and Cernet Translucent, I think, on your community page. Oh, okay. I'll have to look over there. Well, hey, Stephanie, how are you doing today? The forbidden cheese, 100%. Then it just looked like a slice of like that pasteurized processed cheese, which I love. I'm not a purist on cheese at all. Like I'll sit there and eat expensive cheese right next to a piece of plastic wrapped Kraft single store brand, like, and enjoy both of them. Simone's Treasury says, I haven't gotten a YouTube notification in ages. I only get your email notifications. That's just how it be. So this is, you can kind of see, I have these squares cut out, and this is one of those clay cutters that has a little plunger in it. We'll get zoomed up here eventually. But we're just going to take this and lay them together and pass them through the pasta machine. Simone says, I'm convinced I was a mouse in a previous life. I mean, we're just great big mammals. We've got a lot in common with mice. I too like cheese and sleeping. That's basically, yeah, that's enough in common for me. Mare said, yep, your email reminded me of the time. Here I am. Nice. Cheese is cheese. Oh, and I actually feel a little bougie when I've got the canned stuff that's like the dollar store canned stuff, because now you can put cheese on anything. You can just like, here's a pickle, put some cheese on it. Here's some crack. Like, it's the best tacky, I guess, charcuterie board accoutrement, because you can like glue the other stuff together on your cracker with that easy cheese. Just saying. All right, I'm just playing with it now, but it's my clay. I can play with it as much as I want. So now we're going to lay it on our table. Aww. And we're going to flip this camera around for just a minute so that y'all can see what it is that I'm seeing. We got to get this flipped around better, though. There's my charging cord. Hey, everybody. How are y'all doing today? I want to thank you guys for being here, because without you, none of this is possible. It's just me jabbering to myself alone in my craft room. All right. Amira says, I'm so glad for Friday. Me too. How was your week? I haven't seen any of y'all since Monday was last time I was online. So now I'm going to set this down here, and I'm just using one of those glazed ceramic tiles that we got for relatively inexpensive. I like the glazed ones because that nice smooth surface really helps to give the back an extra shiny back when I want that, but also like how there's like a buildup of material that's easy to scrape off using like a razor blade or a tissue blade or something. So I'm just going to come through. Here's the plunger on our clay cutter. Well, hey, Holly, how's it going? Shaz Armstrong. Well, hey, Shaz, how's it going? I'm going to cut, boop. There's one little square, and the reason I'm doing this is because our clay is the same thickness all the way through. Well, hey, Pay. And each of these little biscuits, little cookie cutter, are the same size, and so it's going to help our earrings, to be the same size. Now, on my forehead, if you saw the horns that I'm wearing, the little pixie horns, are 2 squares each. And so to make, I have like a small, medium, and large, and the small used just 1 square, the medium used 2 squares, and the large used 3. And I just really like that, that method. And so I'm kind of debating on what size I should make these earrings. I think I'm going to have each of them be just 2 squares. So they'll still be a little larger, but these are our 12 millimeter beads. So for a 15 millimeter bead, I used 3 squares. Ooh, Stormy says, just posted in the community page for you, the red agate. Okay, let me go take a look. I'm going to run this clay through the pasta machine. Just to get it prepped up so I can cut some more. Okay, and then let me see, how do I find the Back to Earth Creations community page? I cannot look at it from my tablet. So I'm sorry, I'm going to have to...
Do you want me to drop a link to the community page?
Sure, if you can. I'm going to keep cutting out clay in the meantime, though, till we get that technical figured out. 2 picks, 1 of glow, 2. Oh, I love stuff that glows in the dark. Hence the glow in the dark clay that we're using here. Yeah, so we're going to have, and you can see, you can fold that back up and recondition it. Pro says, I hear Randy. Yeah, Randy's over there. He's working on some chainmail today while moderating. We are really gearing up for, I'm really excited. I'm excited because we're starting to do more conventions or more events just in general. And so I'm just pairing our forbidden cheese.
There you go, Vaughn.
Okay, let's see. Thank you for posting it. It won't let me visit it.
Still won't let you?
Yeah.
Dang it.
Thank you, though.
Yeah.
Points for trying. So we have, I don't need to prep up a ton. I'm just gonna, ooh, that's a big fly. Yeah, the stink bugs have like defrosted, I suppose, because we are being swarmed with them. And I'm like, it's not even March yet. Like, it's close. It feels downright tropical today. Like, we don't have a heater on or anything. I'm just passing this through the pasta machine again just to get it nice and homogeneous. I don't want any air bubbles or any gaps in our forbidden cheese.
If you want, you can stand up and just bring yourself over for a second.
Oh, to show?
Show.
Oh, so I don't need to bring the phone?
No, just yourself.
Okay, let me put the... What is it? What you showing me? Oh my God, that's gorgeous. Wow. Oh my God, Nessie, that is just gorgeous. I can't pull it up here on the computer, and Randy's got some sensitive information out on the desk right now. It's tax season, so I can't bring the phone over there. But wow, that is just stunning. You did a fantastic job on that. Like, well done. And the wrap is like pristine. And Mary says it's so cold and icy here, so tired of winter. Oh, Holly, oh, that's a good idea. Add it to your profile as a link. Oh, that's a good idea. I don't know how to do that while I'm streaming, but we're going to have to wait until like post stream, I think, to resolve it. But, is it easier to find Randy as on a phone or on a computer?
Computer, definitely.
Randy says it's easier to find definitely on a computer, so that's good to know. So what we're doing, for those of y'all who might have just come in, is I had been making some of these glue-on horns, like, well, I can't fit my head between, but I'm wearing some on my head right now, but it's basically, it looks just like that, and you just glue it onto your head with like some spirit gum. But then I was like, what if we made this into like a tooth? And so I used a 15 millimeter bead and 3 squares worth of polymer clay to make this one. And so I want to make some earrings out of these beads that are 12 millimeter beads. So since they're 12 millimeter, I'm just using 2 squares each. But also, we just posted a bunch of handmade jewelry to our website, backtoearthcreations.com. This is our weekly shop update and craft along, so shameless self-promotion. Hey Nat, how's it going? And so we're just gonna roll that. And I like to work in batches. It makes me feel so much more efficient with my time than starting at the beginning with each one. But I'm gonna do it in like stages. So another reason of working on the tile is it's going to give me a nice no texture surface. Otherwise, working on my wooden desk, it might pick up some of the wood and some of the finish and stuff. Like, I actually even really need to go through and clean up this tile just because it's going to start redepositing back into the clay. But so we're just going to make this cone shape. And the way that we do that is we get the ball nice and warm by rolling it in our hands, even if it's already been conditioned. This is going to get it to its most pliable. And then I'm just rolling with my hand. If this hand is the tile, I'm rolling this hand at this angle, and that's pushing it into that taper. And then we can kind of bring it in a little bit, bring it out, test them next to each other, and be like, all right, there's one. And this isn't done, it's just that step. And so now I'm going to take this one, fold and smush it together. Hey Giovanna, we are making some dragon fang earrings. This is the large pendant version, and we're about to make the large earring version, but it's really the medium, I guess. I don't know. I'll figure that out later. I just want to make stuff. And we are using Primo Sculpting in glow in the dark, which is my favorite. How do you bake the teeth without getting weird tile glaze texture on them? What I did for these ones is I just put like a square of paper towel, and I was worried that it would catch on fire, but it did not. It did not even scorch. But some folks will use like a dish with like cornstarch in it to just set the stuff into. Oh, thank you. I guess I'm gonna have this one here up on my desk, like right here, so y'all can see. But for everybody who got our craft along kit, you had a clay. Now the level ones just get cabochons because that's like the $15 kit, but the 25 and up kits, y'all got 2 colors of polymer clay. And we had a tutorial a little earlier in the month showing how to make like a layered, well, you might want to test it and really keep an eye on it in Mare. But it did work in my oven. But always, always, always proceed with caution. What were we talking about? Was the paper towel dry or did you get it wet? I just put it in dry. Like, I didn't even worry about it. And then my friend Tracy was like, don't you put that in the oven? And I was like, but I already put it in the oven. And then, and it turned out okay, you know? So I still, I wouldn't put it in the oven and just leave the house. It's I stay, we're within earshot of the timer, you know. Would parchment paper work? Ooh, maybe. You could test it. I don't know. Part of the paper towels, it's so like fluffy, so I don't know if parchment paper would be too smooth. Okay, so, and then we're just taking that and we're rolling it to a taper. Oh yeah, the craft kits, thank you. I gotta let y'all know, we have not had running water for 27, 29, 30, for 32 days. And it's my own fault for going to the plumber that we went with, and everything's okay. But that has really gotten in the way of Randy and I producing cabochons in our home kiln because cleaning the glass before chunking it and firing it is a very water intensive and important step of the process. So, March's kits are going to have that same, fortunately everybody seemed to really like it, but that same beautiful green, like the Dubai chocolate, and then those different colors of dichroic glass. And then we are also sending out a genuine labradorite gemstone cabochon from my own collection because I don't have any more glass cooked to send folks. But instead of it having polymer clay in it, it is going to have 2 varieties of wire. Well, possibly just one variety because I'm going to try to have some of the cabs grooved because that still takes water, but not nearly so much water as cooking them fresh. Yeah, still no water. But clay does bake at a pretty low temperature in a short amount of time. That is true. That's a good point. You could if you have insurance. Nah, I don't push my luck. Not if I can get away with, I'm not going to push my luck if I can help it. Ooh, that one came out so nice. And part of what I love about this is I'm able, by the close back-to-back repetition, like this one I did with so much more confidence than I did with the first couple. Like it just felt smoother in my hand. So now that we have those prepped, we're going to come over here and we have our 18 gauge titanium toned wire. And I'm not going to run it through the, whoops, we're actually going to just scooch that over yonder. Putting some tools away. So we're going to want to coil this around. Let me pull this out. I have one of those coiling gizmos, I think is what they're called. But you might be able to recognize it just a little. It has this kind of turn screw, and it has this thing that it goes into that you can like clamp onto something. I just do it by hand because I'm an animal. Ooh, Kraft melts better on a grilled cheese. It certainly does. Okay, so I'm just going to have it crossed here and hold it down with my thumb. And then I'm just going to twist. Having that wire there is what stabilizes it. And I'm using my finger to guide the wire onto this very stiff, thick core. This is probably a 3mm or 1/8 of an inch. Ah, yes, the coiling gizmo. So many technical terms. It really is. And then there's also a tool called a thingamajig. Ooh, okay, bodega. Oh, I'd love to do a chonker of a bead for you. But I gotta get a new propane line for my torch. So I figure if the propane one's gone out, I probably need to just replace both the hoses at the same time. So just another thing to save up for. But yeah, just a shout out to let everybody know. We just added some new handmade jewelry to our shop, and this actually glows in the dark. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but because it's been sitting inside the house, but they fluoresce under a black light and glow in the dark. And that one has genuine tiger's eye, but I also have a couple that I had made with what you call it, unakite, which has this beautiful like salmon pink and deep mossy earthy green. It's so pretty. This would work in a drill, I guess, but I'm just gonna do it the hard way. Because I'm gonna be making a bunch of these, so I'm coiling a whole bunch. Let's see, I got the thing that climbs to the table. Rummage, rummage, rummage. Here we go. But the thing is this is an old sewing desk, so it doesn't have like a narrow edge that I can clamp onto, but we can still. Ooh, I love it when it just fits perfect. All right, and now we're gonna hold like this. Look at that. Oh, this is so much easier and better on my hand. Oh, okay. This is so much nicer. I don't know why I struggle against the tools. And to have the wire feed on cleanly, I'm just having it come from right below, just keeping things nice and aligned. And I'm going at a slow enough pace that it's not going to be springing all over the place, you know? Fishing rod coiling, pretty much, yeah. It's hitting that same dopamine as when we went trout fishing. Now, Channel asks, what's that for? I'm going to be making the little corkscrew of the wire that goes through the bead. Oh, and I don't reckon I need to be doing as much of this as what I am, because I haven't even tested this theory. I was just overcommitting to an idea that I had that was untested. I don't know why I didn't think of it before. I don't always make the best decisions, I'm gonna be honest. But you don't have to make the right decision, you just got to make the decision right. So it doesn't have to be perfect. You just roll with the punches and you'll figure it out. Which, gosh, I needed that reminder. Okay, so now we take the thing out. I smooshed the ends down while it was still on the mandrel. Hey, Mexi, how's it going? And so now I'm going to take this and let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That should be plenty. And then I'm just going to hold that and snip. Yeah, I didn't think of that. The part that the bead's going to have to go through. Okay, I just made that for the fun of it. I'm just going to set it over here and pretend like like I wasn't just having fun. Now, we could turn this into coiled beads. We could actually, oh, you know what this is? The perfect excuse to practice making those flat coil bracelets. Look, distraction. Smoosh, 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 smoosh. Do you see how it chomps? Nyam, 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 nyam. I've never tried, ow, got my finger. I've never tried doing this before. Nyam, nyam, nyam. So sometimes you just got to feed it to your pliers. You'll get the hang of it. Oh, I love that. But we just come up just a couple, like 5 or 6 coils. Woo! Got my finger again. This is terrible. There's got to be a better way. My poor finger. Owie. Hungry tools. My pliers tasted blood. Now they're hungry tools. It needs some work. A snake. Snaky snake. Hammer time. Is that what you do with these? You just bang it with a hammer? Oh, Holly says, I did that and used it to wrap a big old chunky stone. Oh, I love a chunky stone. Just a chubby little rock just sitting there waiting to get wrapped. Wire wrapped. soft and turned into jewelry. I'm sorry, I don't know why I talk. Look at that though, we did a thing. Well, looks like one of those epilator blades, which is like one of the most underrated torture devices. Do 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 do. Well, I don't know what we're gonna do with it now, but that's neat. Doesn't that look cool? Oh, I love it. All right, let's set that over there and forget about it. Please pardon the side quest. I had a good time. Now back to the regularly programmed scheduling or scheduled programming. That's right. 18 gauge. Nylon jaw pliers go whoop, whoop. And this is not only stiffening it, but it's making it nice and smooth. And so what we're going to do here is I do not need more than, how much is that? It's 2¼ inches. Run that over your hair and it'll work like an epilator too. Ooh. Oh no. Not if you use a rubber tip hammer. Okay. And so I'm going to make sure that the end is nice and flat. So I'm coming in with my flush cutters. Snip. Now also just an opportunity for shameless self-promotion. If all y'all are enjoying hanging out with us today in this live stream, we do live streams over at kick.com/Back to Earth Creations, where there's no ads and it's a full horizontal screen. On Saturday, Sunday, and Monday in this same time slot from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. And I love hanging out with y'all over there because there are no ads. And that's just nice. And we still make more money on Kick than what we do on YouTube, even with no ads. So, but hey, Leah, how's it going? Did you watch Milan Institute's The Outstanding Artist today on YouTube? I didn't even know that that was a thing. And I'll have to check that out. Be careful of your eyes when cutting. That's true. That's good advice too. So you can see on this pendant here, I attached a bail. And if you guys sign up for our free newsletter, then you'll get every notification from whether we've gone live on Kick or live on YouTube or if it's a new tutorial. But yeah. So we're going to make this loop. And the way that we do that is I'm just going to come in. The longer your wire, from this bottom edge of the pliers to the tip of the wire, the longer that is, the bigger your loop is going to be. So this would be a great big loop. Almost enough to do a wrapped loop. This right here, that's more about the size that I'm going for, because I feel like with an 18 gauge wire, I don't want to go too big with the loop without wrapping it, because it'll lose its integrity the larger it gets. But we're going to do a nice sharp right angle bend. And now I'm going to come in with my round nose pliers. And I'm just going to hold and bring this around, bracing with my thumbnail up against that bend to give a little bit of resistance. And then just trying to make it look like a balloon on a string. And then I like to use my box hinge to just come in there and straighten up that part of the wire. But I don't want to trim, like squeeze so hard that the pliers leave marks. So that's the little loop that we'll be attaching our bail to. And I just got these bails on like AliExpress or Amazon or Fire Mountain Gems. It's BAIL is what I would search. And there's so many different styles, but I liked this one. So I got like a 20 pack or something. Well, hey Sharon, how's it going? And so now, ooh, okay, y'all. I don't know how to do a poll, but which of these beads should we make the earrings out of first? We have azurite malachite that's much more green, azurite malachite that's much more blue, tiger's eye, glass pearls, purple glass that's faceted, natural rose quartz, faceted dyed rose quartz, faceted black glass, and unakite. What do y'all think? Blue? Okay. We'll do the blue ones. Tiger's eye, we'll do the tiger's eye next. Because we're going to have to do them all. Malachite green. Okay. That'll be the one we do after the tiger's eye. And then what's the fourth one? The unakite. Okay. Thank you, you guys. That helps me to decide. That would look amazing on a bale made with Celtic style wire wrapping. Oh, Holly, that's a beautiful idea. Do it. Emperor Palpatine over here. Do it. Do it. Craft the thing. If only somebody were showing you a step-by-step tutorial on how to do it your own self. Sorry, I'm a craft enabler. I want to get you guys crafting because this is, oh, man, to put it mildly, we have been stressed out. Like I said earlier, day 32 of no running water with this busted pipe, which everything's been okay. Like it's inconvenient at worst, but it's also expensive and ongoing. So it's the unending, like, don't know when I'm going to hear back from the plumber. Is this plumber going to ghost us too? Like that stress has so been weighing heavily on Randy and I. And so being able to take a break and craft and do something that's stimulating my senses. I'm getting to play with clay. I'm getting to, struggle against the wire and hang out with y'all and pick out beads and stuff. Like, thank you guys. This has given me such a release to just let myself be creative because there's making stuff and then there's creating something. And I feel like we're creating something here today together. So I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out. But my hope is that I can help you to get crafting because I want to share this good feeling of what it feels like to not have this like massive backpack of stress of just basically everything I've ever worried about for the past like at least the past couple of months, if not the past like 3 years for me. Like whenever Sam Dog passed away, I got real depressed and have not gotten better. So, oh, we used way too much wire. That okay. We got this. We got this. Ooh, we could do something different. So what I'm doing here is we're doing a zigzag. But yeah, I want to share the craft room vibes. So thank you guys for being here. But please get your clay and your wire and come craft with me. Or your crochet, whatever it is for you. Don't forget to craft today, if you can. Oh, Holly says, I'm homebound disabled. I started with broom making. Oh, what's that like? Then because I like to be more arty, started wire wrapping pearls and stones to add to my brooms. That sounds so cool. Mary says, I'm playing with hook and yarn. Oh, fiber crafts are so fun. Miss Fortune says, is there a moment a day that you aren't creative? I can't keep up. Well, there's a bunch of the day that I'm not creating. I'm just working. Like, and maybe I need to try to bring a little bit more of that creative spirit into like checking emails or but because it's wonderful whenever somebody actually sends us a message, but it's so much just like going through spam and like bills and like so the very mundane things. Sometimes I forget to try to make the mundane magical as well. So, oh, MG, I'm so sorry to hear that. Says I also lost a dog a few weeks ago. Well, my heart hurts with you. That's the grief of missing them is the price we pay for loving them. I'd always rather have that love and lost, I suppose, than never known the doggy at all. Oh, Leah says I crocheted a bunch of hanging emotional support plants. Oh my god. That's true. And Randy does help quite a bit with the email. But it's just, I don't know, sometimes when that backpack of stress is on, everything just feels heavy, even something that normally would bring me joy. So that's why I'm really grateful for these live streams, is y'all help me to focus on just the joy. You get me out of my own head. We get to chit-chat and craft. Good time. Well, hey, Adelaide, how's it going? So I'm just going to make a little loop at the end of this one and then just pressing it to get it to line up. And so this is the armature that's going to go inside our fang to make the clay hold on to everything. Holly says, love broom making, but it can also be an upper arm workout. Hearth Brooms is the instructor I take Zoom lessons from. You should try it. Very zen. Right on. I actually follow her on Instagram. Her whole aesthetic is just amazing, and I really admire, not just her broom craft, but like her video editing. Yeah, MG says thanks. Thankfully, I have one dog left to keep me company. That's where we're at with our Z dog. Whoop! So, there's our boy over there on the couch. That's Sam Dog's brother. And we had Sam and Z's mama was our very first dog when Randy and I got together, and we've been together for 21 years. We just had our 21st anniversary. Oh, yeah, Z Dog's 15 as well. Crafts are a lifeline. Oh, I understand that. All right, so I'm going to set this to where I'm likely to spill it. Just, for contrived drama purposes. And then we're going to take one of the fangs, which is formless right now. And also, even if you made something perfect, just don't worry about it. Just smush it up and make it again. Everything's fine. It is not the end of the world. If I dropped a tool on this and squished everything, we made it once. We can make it again. Do not be afraid of messing up. And that's my favorite, gosh, what's it called when they, lock you in a room with spiders if you're scared of spiders? Exposure therapy? This is what I do for exposure therapy when I'm like, oh, I don't want to mess it up. Anytime I feel myself feeling that feeling, I'll come through and mess it up on purpose. Just to be like, oh no, it's the end of the world. I'm like, no, it's not. We can just squish or smush it back together, and it is the most liberating feeling. Cruelty? But it's it was a different time when I was a kid. But yeah, so don't worry about messing it up. I'm just holding with my 3 fingers, and that comes in relevant later. And then I'm going to press this down, and you can see, oh no, it's all like bulging out the side weird. I mess up enough stuff. I don't need any more therapy. Ooh, Stormy says, have you made any crystal quartz circlets or crowns lately? I have not, but I should. I love that idea. I gotta set that right there, because otherwise, that's right where my arm goes. So knowing now where my wire's protruding down into, I can shape my talon or fang or whatever it is that we're making to accommodate. That kind of helps me decide what shape we need to be sculpting. It's called aversion therapy. Oh, really? Have you made... Oh, okay. I'll make some, Stormy. Not today. We gotta get these made. And also, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's like, ugh, making me crazy. So we could also just glob it on like that. Sorry, my dog's horkling in the background. Right on, Stormy. Ooh, Kimberly Fox says, cool name by the way, I've only just started making things, trying to figure out the loom, figured out how to put the thread on and put the beads on, but not figured out how to take the beads off without breaking it. The bead art. Gotcha. Ooh, I don't know. Okay. I'm gonna roll my finger onto the thing. There we go. Ooh, look, it picked up some dog fur. That's always free. I just scrape it off with my fingernail if I can. Something is eating your pea seedlings. Oh no! Okay, so now we've got our shape. That's probably, at this point, I'm just playing with it. So, yes, there we go. I like that. And also, it's a dragon fang. It doesn't have to look any way. It doesn't have to be anatomically correct or proportionate or anything. Just make it till you think it looks cool. Oh, your cat is eating your pea seedlings. No, not the pea seedlings. And so now I'm using this silicone cone tip. And I am just adding in some texture down from the tip. And I'm going to be touching this a bunch. So I'm doing this nice and deep. And this won't even necessarily survive to the end of the piece. But we're getting a good practice. And we're kind of just trying some things out. Because now we have a much better feel for the clay that we're working with. And now I'm going to take my fingers and I'm just going to pinch, boop, pressing against the gemstone, boop, pinch. And then coming equidistant between those two pinches, pinch. So I've got one shorter side and two slightly longer sides. And so what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to pinch on the inside and press my finger down the back. And then I'm going to pinch down that back side. And so that gives us that nice, almost like T-Rex tooth or, something. How's it going, baby? Ooh-wee. And that's just with your fingers. So, all of us could be doing this and all of us are going to be getting a slightly different fang tooth. So, oh, late nights for tuna cookie. Tune Cookie says your voice is transporting me to a different life because I used to watch your videos many years ago. Oh, well, thank you for letting me be in this part of your life too. Just being here, hopefully keeping you company. Let's see, I missed some. Ooh, I missed quite a few comments. I was just babbling on. Amir says, funny thing, my high school sketchbook has sketches that look like this talent. I was obsessed with drawing it. Should dig it out and show you. Yes! You could always do witch hats. Oh, I love that. I made some witch hat earrings out of polymer clay last year and they sold really well. Ooh, I like stuff that sells really well. Oh, you tie knots on each end to secure it before cutting it off the loom. Oh. Coke bottle terrariums? Oh no, they were too wet. Uh-oh. Well, hey, late night. How's it going? From the Alps. Oh. Doo-doo. Well, hey, Kristen. Be nice to see other stuff they do on your community page, right? Also make candles, but wanted to learn bead art. Oh, nice. Okay. So we've done that initial shaping. And you can see a lot of you may be able to see, I don't know, a lot of the texture has been kind of smushed out with my fingertips, but that's okay. That was like practice anyhow. So now we can take this and I'm going to press up. I need to move some material up to get it to be more around the bead. There we go. That's much better. And then I'm going to drag this out. Don't worry about, these are going to look very wide and potentially very amateurish, but you might also love it. So just let it be what it is. I'll show you how to make them sharper here in a little bit, but I'm not putting any fine details up top just yet. So we're going to come through with like a needle tool or a toothpick or just whatever you got. And I'm going to come through and I'm using the long side of it to kind of press and roll around the base of our tooth. And this is kind of in my mind, this is where the gums would be like from here up. So it's like maybe, there was some erosion at the gum line of the enamel. And then I'm going to press in, whomp. And then I'm pressing harder up here by the base, then I lighten as I go to the tip. And I'm not going to lie, that was probably the best I've ever done this in my whole life. So practice makes progress, you guys. It really does. Wow. And it's not going to be perfect every time, but it doesn't need to be because the magic is going to happen in the layers. So I like to do a shorty and then a long boy, and then a shorty and then a long boy. And that keeps me from getting too crowded. And we can always pick it back up again. Yeah, I love making up arbitrary rules just to break them and abandon them or forget entirely that they ever existed. Oh, goodness gracious. I wonder if that's my plumber. Nope. I'm sorry if that was loud in y'all's ear. But yeah, just to let everybody know, a little bit of shameless self-promotion. If you enjoy our free tutorials and live streams and such, be sure to sign up for our newsletter at backtoearthcreations.com. That way you stay in the loop anytime we have a new tutorial or live stream, or in today's case, a new shop update. Woo, boo. These glow in the dark. That's why I'm making that noise. You just can't see it. I'm seeing it with my imagination. But this is a larger version of what we're sculpting right now. So this is a great example of, this is a 15 millimeter bead and this is a 12 millimeter bead. This used 3 little squares from this clay cutter, on the thickest setting on my pasta machine. This one used 2. So that gives a really nice gradient, and I think this would look amazing on like a necklace or something. But let's focus on the project at hand. So we're going to continue coming all the way around, just kind of alternating. If like, I like these arbitrary rules for falling back on. Always, always follow your heart. But sometimes I just don't know what to do. So I'm like, I don't know. Do every other. And in that way I can just kind of do that and then run with it. And then I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to poke and pull to soften some of those lines with my ball stylus. There we go. And deepening that. Now, again, a lot of what I'm doing right now isn't going to be highly visible. But man, when we paint it, it's going to pop. Like, here's one of our Unakite ones that I just love. Wow. Like, the way that all the paint and stuff settles. Same techniques. This just has some mica powder that we put on before it was baked. And then I did a acrylic paint wash. Actually, my little horn was falling off. I smushed it back on, but next time it starts falling off on me. I think my spirit gum has gone old. Is anybody here like, a theater kid or something where it's, or using prosthetics, like any cosplayers or theater folk here? So a lot of my friends from high school who were theater kids, they were like, oh yeah, we're familiar with spirit gum. But I think mine went bad because it's just not sticking the way that it used to could. And that makes me sad. But also I didn't let it dry hardly at all before putting it on my face. Oh, thank you, Amer. I'm really enjoying these, and I like it that I needed a break from the dragon sculpture. They do go off normally after 2 or 3 years. Yeah, okay, it's definitely time. We're gonna have to restock some of our spirit gum. That'll be good. Right on. Well, how are you doing, Suzanne? Okay, so now we get to kind of, I'm gonna hold more down here. And this is why I have my craft knife out, is because we can sharpen up our tips here. Just by coming in very carefully. I'm not going to get myself with the knife. One day at a time. I hear that. We're doing pretty well here. We've got some new handmade jewelry in the shop. And it's a good day. Having a good live stream. Super grateful. There we go. And now this isn't like pristine or anything, but we can come in here and we can use a stylus like this one to kind of shape and drag. Normally I would come in and like try to use my fingernail, but I want to get more experience with the style. There we go, it's back on. Sorry, we were having some problems with the connection. If I want to reduce the size of this design, I'm going to be doing quite a bit that my hands are just too big for, so I need to get practice using the tool. And so do you see how that just kind of sharpened it up a little bit? Ooh, wow, Kimberly, that sounds... Ooh! I was in college trying out a special effects session. Surprisingly, I was the best. Oh, wow. That's always a good feeling when you take right to something. And so now I'm gently coming through with the silicone tip. And that's not quite giving me the impression that I want. So I'm going to come in with our needle tool. And you see how that kind of pulled the clay up a little? I'm just going to tap it back. There we go. Hey, Lisa. She says it's been quite a while since I've seen you live. Well, welcome back to the live stream. We stream every Friday here on YouTube from 3 to 6 p.m. And we stream on kick.com/Back to Earth Creations every Saturday, Sunday, and Monday from 3 to 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Oh, wow. Kimberly says, I like doing makeup, but yeah, I searched up a photo of a bruise for reference using the colors of the bruise I did with eyeshadow and blended it to make it look realistic. Nice. Maybe, Sacred Blue. How's it going? So I'm just gently carving in with the needle tool. Just trying different things here and there. I'm getting little crumbly bits. Sometimes I poke them back in. Sometimes I lift them off. You can use a little bit of clay to lift the little pieces if you're having trouble. And then just making a little spiral thwomp, 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 thwomp. There we go. And I think that'll hold on to the paint perfectly. And I'm just going to set that there for now. I have a little ball of scrap clay here. Oh, Amir says Kik has fast become fun to play with. Ooh, right on. That makes me so happy to hear. Okay, so we're going to flip the camera around for a minute. Just because, quite frankly, I need a break from being hunched over and crafting. So gonna have a little bit of a stretch break, but that is how, oh, hey Hawk, how's it going? She says, hi Yvonne, what type of clay are you using? I am using Sculpting Primo in the glow in the dark color. And we sent out polymer clay and are sending out still. It's not too late to get yours. For anybody in chat who's interested, we are sending out polymer clay along with our homemade fused glass cabochons in our February craft along kits. But I did want to let you guys know that since we still do not have running water, we have not been cooking cabochons. So we don't have any new glass for March, but fortunately we kind of overproduced fortunately also what were well received, those beautiful green tones. Like this is an example of one of these, actually this is an example of some of the new jewelry that's up in the shop today, but this piece is looking for its new home. But the fused glass, the fused dichroic glass that we used here in this one, that's one of the colors that we'll be sending out in March as well. And then the Dubai chocolate, which I just love, is one of the glass types that, and we're going to be sending out a grooved one too, which makes me very, very happy. And then also we are sending out some genuine labradorite in our March craft along kits out of my own personal collection. Now those ones won't be grooved because these ones, if they could have been, they would have been by now. But yeah, so that's, ooh, okay, Amira says that one, not the chocolate before. I went to make that one. Okay. We used half round wire to do the bail, and we used 18 gauge wire for the wrapping. I'd almost recommend a 16 gauge for it, but these little loops would be hard. And so it goes onto the groovy cab and it comes around through the groove. That's how it's set in there. And then we use the half round wire to wrap about 1.25 inches to make a longer bail. The shorter you do the coiling, like with the half round, the shorter your bail will be. And I wanted a slightly longer bail on this one to kind of change the weight and shape of it. Whenever we get down to here, I don't snip the wire. We just fold it over and I use the half round to wrap around the neck twice. And then these guys just come around through from behind and then make a little coil on either side. And I bet this would make a really great base for like a more intricately wrapped, wire wrapped owl. Is just my thoughts on that one. Let's get some water in us. I like the point and round together as well. Huck says, I just got back from Sequoia State Park. Oh, it's closed off from the right on. I know, right? Rainbow. It's rainbow o'clock, you guys. But yeah, these are what we were making a little earlier, but in a smaller size. And then these horns here, these are what we were making in the kick stream last week. And that's what got the idea going and inspired for doing these ones that we're making now. Is I was like, I bet we could just pinch it like this and make it look like the root of a tooth. And then I was like, we got to put a bead in there. Like, we've got to. Okay, so based off of the other one, the next ones we make, I'm going to make them a little shorter because it was difficult to get all of this up in there. And so if you missed it before, we just came in here and we're pushing that wire into our clay. So it's sitting like that. There was a point in my jewelry making career where I would have been like, art, it's beautiful, it's perfect, sell it. And there were people who were kind enough that they bought it, but I'm really glad I started adding in more layers. And added in elements of refinement. Not because there's anything wrong with this, but this just doesn't look like what's in here yet. And that's, to me, that's the joy and challenge of sculpting and really of creating anything, is trying to accurately convey this is what was in my brain. And that's the best feeling. Like, for me, that's one of my favorite feelings from art. That is a huge bug. So we've got like a flying like stink bug in the house that's like massive, and it has no respect for personal space. So we're going to take that and we're going to smush. When in doubt, smush it out. So I hung 51 sun catchers. Wow. And took a video. Right on. It's 81 there. Wow. Oh, the Stormy says, love your brain. It's warm enough today we don't have the heater on, but I'm going to be honest, I haven't been outside, unfortunately, since this morning. So, stay lovey. Aw. Okay, so I'm going to come in here, and how did we do it before? I'm going to pinch. I've decided this is the front because of the way that it's curved. So that's going to be our short side. So I'm going to pinch here, and then here, and then I'm going to come equidistant between those two sides and pinch there. Yeah, sure. Man, this one's not working as well. I guess maybe it was a little less squared off. Or maybe I shouldn't have. This is what I'm supposed to do them at the same time as each other, is so I can try to do it the same way each time. That's okay. Like, it's not the end of the world. Unless. Hey, Al, how's it going? But yeah, so now we're. It's okay. We can fix it. We have the technology. We can fix it. We can make it better. I got a little bent there on the tip, but that's okay. We can straighten it back out. There we go. Just like new. And so we can just use our fingernails. And with these earrings, I went into it already surrendered to the fact that they're going to be sisters, not twins. If I wanted every single one to be exactly the same, I'd make this one as perfect as I could, and I'd bake it, and I'd try to make a mold of it. And then I'd make casts of it. but it's too cold for me to use my silicone right now, or it was at least this morning. Um, so I'm not going to be making a mold of this one. But that okay. I was kind of like, because we've been making like little horns like these made with resin in a mold for like a couple of years, and I stopped sculpting horns because I didn't need to anymore. I wonder how much more experience I'd have with sculpting if I had just stuck with hand sculpting, at least having a hand sculpted line as well as the resin cast. Um, I don't know. Pros and cons. We got a lot of horns made real quick and easy, but I missed out on the opportunity to. Ooh, there's that big word again. I missed out on the opportunity to get all that practice in, and I love the practice. I really do. It's a when my husband plays Pokemon, he calls it the grind, and I think for crafters, I love the grind. Does Yvonne ever sleep with a brain that's so creative? Dude, I had like a wild dream the other night. But I'm not gonna go into that right now. But it was freaky deaky. Um the main takeaway, and I can't remember how to say it in Latin, but it was a doozy of a live stream last week on Kick. Um was if you want what was it? If you wanna make it to the sunflowers, you have to put down the toothpaste. Some wisdom right there. But in the dream, I'm going to leave out a lot of the details, but in the dream, I don't think there's a way to tell it without adding in the details. Never mind. We're changing subjects. But, my dream was nuts the night before last. One of the veterinarians did surgery on me like I was one of the dogs. Oh no! What was, I mean, if they're a good doctor, then that wouldn't be so bad. I hope you made it through okay. All right, so there we are. We've got the tips like this. And I'm just going to flip the camera back around for you guys. And one time in my dream, right? Whoop. Oh, we got to go like that. There we go. Now we're crafting with fire. Okay. Whoop. We need to do, let's check the length first. One's a little longer than the other, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just squanch it up a little bit. But also I need to like pinch on this side and then pinch on this side. Yeah, 100% next time I'm going to work on both of them at the same time. That way I'm not having to like kind of guess and measure them against each other. Aw, thank you, Mar. Maria, that's my niece and her mama got me my new favorite color palette. It's like a ColourPop shadow stick in this like shimmery purple, and then I just layered that in with my usual honey palette. No, no, uh, no, that's okay. Though I will be planting a whole bunch of sunflowers this year. Because, yeah, it's easier to make them look the same than it is to try to get one to look exactly like the other. And I'll show you what I mean by that on the second pair. Do y'all remember what color we were going to do next? We started with the blue azurite, because it was a strand of azurite malachite. So there was like a bluer beads, but there were also these greener beads in the same strand. So I figured these ones are a little more malachite heavy. These ones might be a little more azurite heavy. Good night, Giovanna. And then I think we're doing tiger's eye next, and then the malachite toned. Tiger's eye, that's right. Okay. So yeah, now we're going to come through and we just pressing the tip of our needle tool up into that groove, and then running that down, kind of alternating a long and a short, but just following your heart. Do do. Ah, big bug. Ooh, a Mirror says, I have 3 kinds of tiger's eye. I love the blue tiger's eye. Oh my god, right? Bye, Stormy. Thanks so much for hanging out. Hopefully, we'll see you guys tomorrow on Kick, because we may be sculpting the dragon again. We shall see. Do 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 do. So yeah, just dragging this along, getting that sculpted and shaped using the round cone silicone tool, and that kind of just softens up some of the deeper needle tool lines. And now let's get these tips trimmed and just tapping that onto some scrap clay. Bloop. And then trim it, clean the knife, trim it, clean the knife. And so I just cut in and then scrape away. Cut in, and very gently I'm scraping away because I don't want to cause any damage to the bead. Well, hey, Enchanted, how's it going? Says this is very cool. Oh, thank you. This is an example of what it is that we're making once it's been baked and painted. So this one's using a 15mm tiger's eye, and this one's using a 12mm azurite malachite bead. This is real heavy on the azurite. These are, it's like a dragon fang is what I was thinking, because I needed a break from working on our big dragon sculpture that we've been doing, and it just mentally and physically I was pretty whooped from it. So last weekend we had started making like little glue-on prosthetic like pixie horns. And then I was making a bunch of those because I was like, well, I'm gonna make 5 medium, 5 small, and 5 large. And I was working on the large horns when I was like, I bet we could, and bloop bloop, we sculpted it so that they looked like it was a tooth with the tooth roots, you know. And now we're here. Sorry, brain farted a little bit. Ooh, right on, Crow with shinies. 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 Sorry. Tammy says, I want to get into this, making cones or spiral pendants, whatever they call it. Where do I start? Any advice? Ooh, well, with this one here, I'm working with polymer clay. And I really do like polymer clay because with very minimal tools and material investment, you can make a lot of really cool stuff. And everything, even on like, even if you get your hands on some like inexpensive but kind of not great to work with clay, you'll still learn things that can be applied to higher quality, clay in the future. So learning is never a wasted effort. My number one tip would be to just watch some tutorials to start with, mostly to get familiar with the terminology. Because a lot of the times, like whenever I was first getting into making jewelry, I didn't know a lot of the terms. So it's like if I wanted to search, what's the thing that you use to thread something onto a necklace? I didn't know the term pendant, and I didn't know the term bail, which the bail is the little loop that the necklace would thread through, and the pendant is like the structure that hangs on a necklace. But that's not the only term for something that hangs from a necklace. So the more you can any YouTube recommendations by chance? Back to Earth Creations. We actually have over 1,000 free tutorials on a variety of different wire wrapping and polymer clay and chainmail and leather smithing, um, like tatting. We've got some needle felting. We've got like some cosplay stuff. So we've got a bunch of different tutorials. But also, is there a medium in particular that you're interested in? Because there's a lot of really good YouTubers out there who make just fantastic tutorials that are a little bit more specialized. Like I dabble in, I mean, I wallow. I wouldn't call it dabbling. I get full on in it. A bunch of different crafts. But like the polymer clay tutor is one that comes to mind, who is just a fantastic polymer clay artist and is a very, very good uh, starting place. Yeah. Well, good luck to you, Tammy. Crafting's a whole lot of fun, and I'm an enabler. So I want to get as many people crafting as we can. So I wonder if I can take this. I do wish I had had, I'm going to let it bake, and then I'm going to twist the little loop that's coming out of the top of the bead, because as earrings, I want them to lay kind of the same, as opposed to one laying like this and one laying like this. Like, that would make me nuts. I want them both to lay probably like this, because I like the way that framing shape, or you can have them alternate and have it be like protruding out. So that's cool to me. But I'm going to let it bake and then we'll twist it. So the polymer clay that I'm using, we would bake at 275 degrees, and I would want to use a preheated oven. And I'm going to set these on a little pad of paper towel. That way it doesn't get a flat, shiny spot on the back. A Mare says, shameless self-promotion. But yeah, I do recommend to anybody, if you're enjoying hanging out. I know I'm having a good time, but sign up for our free newsletter at backtoearthcreations.com, and that way you never miss out on a new shop update, tutorial, live stream. If we have to cancel an event, or if we get into a new event or anything like that, if you're on our newsletter list, you're the first to know. And so I'm using some 18 gauge wire. I'm going to do these ones a little shorter. Well, actually, I'm going to do them the same length, but I'm going to try something different. And I've trimmed 5, primarily to use up the wire I had unspooled, but also y'all had helped me decide earlier in the stream that we're doing tiger's eye next, and then the malachite, heavy malachite azurite. Hey Dee, how's it going? So that's where the 5th one comes in, is that's going to help me to remember. That's like a reference for how long, because if I want to make it shorter or if it needs to be longer, that's my reference. Okay, so let's see. I want to make sure that all of them have a nice flat end. And then I'm going to come in and we can bend all of them at once. This is why I like to work in batches, is because it's a little, oh, this one here is natural rose quartz, and this pink stone is dyed faceted rose quartz. So we're just making a little loop, and then we're just making a little loop. Now we do have our whole wire wrapping masterclass here on YouTube. It's 7 in-depth lessons that'll take you from never having wire wrapped before to I've taught you the everything that I know, basically. And everything else from that is just some creative variation of these foundational techniques. It's not all encompassing, but it's everything I know or knew at the time. And it's certainly enough to get you started to where once you've watched those 7 videos and practiced along with them, you could go and follow along any wire wrapping tutorial on the internet, and I would have full confidence that you could do it. But the practicing along, that's the important part. I'm using 18 gauge wire. Anything that you're interested in that like we made, you can find for sale at backtoearthcreations.com. Ooh, so I'm gonna do these ones just because they're closest to me, because they're all so pretty. Oh, look at that. I love that tiger's eye. And so from here, I'm gonna take this and I'm going to bend. Now these bent nose pliers, you can see, have a very thin tip. We took it and applied it to a grinder to get it to grind down nice and thin. So, but I like it thin like that because now there's not a whole lot of wiggle room for our bead. And so, ooh, we got to decide which side we think flashes better. That one for sure. And so now I'm going to come in and I'm just going to grab as close to the tip of the pliers as I can because that's where they're nice and thin. And then bending. Now, I would never want to do it so tight that it's risking cracking or chipping the stone, especially on like the azurite or the malachite because those are softer. Tiger's eye is pretty strong. Um, so I wouldn't be too worried about it. So now from here, what I'm going to do on these ones is we're actually going to practice a spiral. So I'm having as close to the tip of the wire and as close to the tip of the pliers as I can. I'm just going to come in here and whoop, which we have a whole masterclass lesson on spirals, and it's free, you guys. We don't pay gate getting into crafting here. We are enablers for free. But you can actually watch them on our website ad free for free as well. It's under the tutorials tabs on our website. Back to Earth Creations. Hey, Blissful Candy, how's it going? Which even that just right there, that's as cute as anything. Oh, heck. I'm gonna have to make some of those as earrings too now. But I just want something that the clay can hold on to that isn't going to be protruding down into the tip of the fang. And then I like to use my nylon draw pliers. I just want everything nice and lined up. Oh, heck. And this is also a nice opportunity to make sure that the spirals and loops are oriented the same. Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, my husband and I started getting into making jewelry. Well, I was fixing my own jewelry in high school, and I made like my first necklace from like Hobby Lobby, like chip beads and some memory wire or dental floss when I ran out of memory wire. Because I just wanted to wear shiny rocks. But we started our business making jewelry in 2008. So I guess I got serious about chainmail in 2007 and then started learning like bead stringing. It started with bead stringing and then I started learning macrame and chainmail when Randy got me this really cool like the Ring Lord chainmail kit that had like 5 different metal types and like a bunch of different ring sizes. And I was just hooked. And the yeah, it's I was freshly out of high school, so all of my time was my own. Um, it was a lot of fun, but before I knew it, I'd made like 80 bracelets, and your girl does not wear bracelets, like because I just don't. Um, like if I do, it's like an excursion. Like this is like going to the opera or something. Like it has to be a really big deal for me to be wearing a bracelet, or I might be wearing one for like my mood. Maybe I should wear bracelets more. I'm gonna enter my bracelet wearing era. Hooray. Um, what were we talking about? Made 80 bracelets. I don't wear bracelets. My now father-in-law had recommended, he was like, well, why don't y'all join the Lincoln County Arts Center? Because they have, if you're a member, and it's like $30 for a year, if you're a member, you get to set up a booth. This was way back when, but you get to set up a booth for like free, and you get to be like right there in the middle of it for the host of Christmas Past, which is like a big thing that they do to like kick off Christmas celebrations in November in that town. And we were like, okay, and then we did, and we made like $500 like in like a 2 or 3 day like weekend. And that was more than what we were each making on like our 2 week checks. And so we were like, hot dog. And then we signed up for Christmas in Lynchburg, which is still pretty good. It was a 1 day show in Lynchburg, Tennessee. It was a lot of fun. I think we only made like $200, but still that was like amazing. And that was right riding hot on the tails of the host of Christmas Past. And we were like, well, let's try to do this for a living. and we followed it to see where it would go. And we did basically just craft shows for like all of 2008. And it was getting really tricky because, um, well, Randy was still working. At the time, he was working at Walmart because the factory had had their layoffs. And so you had to work somewhere during the off months, in between whenever the factory was hiring. And so we're just going to take this and we're going to smoosh that down on in there like that. And I was working at like this metaphysical head shop, basically. So before smushing this, I'm going to go ahead and triangulate. I don't know if that's how I've done it in the past. No, it's not. I don't like it. We're changing it back. So we just whip it out and do it again. Um, he'd ask for the time off. He'd get confirmed for the time off. We'd book the show. It would come time for the show. Randy's on the schedule. And his managers just were not willing to work with him. And we were like, we're already broke. Like, we can't hardly afford anything. We may as well, let's take a risk on this. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. And so I think it was September 2008. Randy quit his day job. Like the metaphysical head shop I had worked at had closed down in that meantime, and we had moved into town so that I could work there. Um, and we'd both be closer into work. And Randy had started going to college, and it's just like, man. But there were no job options in that town. So they're like, better make our own job. Oh, this is we're using Sculpey Primo that glows in the dark, which I think is a lot of fun. But at the time, everything was so expensive. That's the whole point. Like, you triggered my origin story. Um, Everything was so expensive, and YouTube did not have like a bunch of tutorials or anything on it. It was YouTube at 2008 was a different era. And so it was really hard to find any kind of educational material about it that wasn't like expensive. And so I had a very slow and expensive learning curve. And that's whenever I started teaching, whenever we started doing like sci-fi and fantasy conventions. Our first one was Con Nuga, no, Chattacon in January. It took a couple of years before we got into Con Nuga. But and it was in January and it was raining and it was just, I mean, raining like crazy. And we were sleeping in our van. Um and it was awesome. It was like the coolest because we found out that con suites were a thing. Where so we got to eat like hot dogs out of a crock pot, which when you're sleeping in your van, hot dogs out of a crock pot is like 5-star restaurant. Well, hey Wesley, how's it going? But that conventions were a complete and total game changer for us because I mean, we're both total nerds, like, and it was just awesome to get to. It felt like finding our people. But now that we're vending again. But yeah, it was when I started teaching at conventions, um, I really fell in love with teaching. I learned so much more by teaching than I had had almost in my whole time just, searching for information on my own. And so I made our first YouTube video in 2012, partially out of spite, because there was this person who was being like real catty. Um, and then So I made like a tutorial out of spite to be like, well, if she's gonna be a butt, then I'm gonna just show people how to make this design. Because it's like basic single, it's the 5-star, like the 5 bead starflower pendant. Like, that's been around since before the internet. Like, that's old school wire wrapping, like kind of beginner, like bead stuff, like almost into the realm of, I think, into the realm of folk art with how familiar that pattern is in beading and stuff. Um, And she was trying to make it out like she had invented it and she was being real ugly about it. Um, Not just to me, but just like to anybody who comes through or who was coming through the dealer's room at the time. And, well, anyways, spite has always served us really well around here. And so we're just checking to make sure those are the same length, more or less. And then just checking to make sure that the lines are lining up. So this is my preferred way for whenever we're making earrings to do them the same step on one and then on the other, and then kind of back and forth, because like on the last one, whenever I sculpted one all the way to completion, it now made it to where I could not modify one of my pieces. Whereas now I can make tweaks to both of them to get them to meet halfway in the middle, if that makes sense. And I feel like that helps me to make them slightly more symmetrical. Well, hey, Af, how's it going? So I'm just going to press in and then slide, press and slide, and press and slide. Because if I do a cut like that, then it kind of balls up some of the clay. Whereas if I press and then drag a little, it doesn't seem to do that as bad. But the more you work with your clay, the more you'll find out what does or doesn't work and what your favorite way is. Because I feel so strongly that there's no right or wrong way to do this stuff. There's just making it. And now I am being careful to not go like a perpendicular. But even if I did, oh no, it's the end of the world. Actually, I think that looks pretty cool. But also, we can just pet it. We're gonna come in and use the side of our tool handle to just reshape it, get that closed up. So don't worry about it. Like, there's no reason to be too worried. It's all good. Here, these are not symmetrical. What's happening? That's okay. We can just reshape it. So sometimes I'll lose track of what it is that I'm doing, but that's all right. There we go. And I am trying to be consistent about not exceeding past where that line is, because I don't want to be like that. That kind of breaks the line a little to me. But it's okay. Then just coming through, down like that. How's it going, honey?
Second one.
Oh my gosh, what weave are you doing?
Just a 3-3.
Nice. You're being very productive. I've barely finished one pair of earrings. That's okay though. Did we have any other orders come in?
I'll recheck.
Oh, okay. Well, that's all right. We were lucky to get the ones that we had.
Yep.
Which, for anybody who's been hanging out with us, if you do find yourself in the mood to shop, be sure to use coupon code HAPPYCRAFTER at backtoearthcreations.com to get 10% off of your order. And that goes not just for our handmade jewelry that we've just newly added, but it's also the DIY supplies. So like our homemade fused glass cabochons, any wire that we have up for sale. We do have some selection of beads on the website. But we don't do a whole lot of like resale. We try to stick to things that we make here in our home studio. So like the fused dichroic, confused glass cabs, any lampwork glass beads that I have made, those sorts of things. Our craft along kits. Ooh, hey Eric. He says, I guess I missed something. What is going on to hold that polymer clay to the glass bead? Okay, so this is what the bead looks like. And so all of this wire is set here into the clay. And then whenever we squish that, the clay gets to touch itself in between the loops of the spiral. So you want to do a really nice, like, open, airy spiral. And then from here, we get to kind of push and pinch up. And so now we're starting to get a surface area adhesion to the clay, or from the clay to the bead. Hey, sucker, how's it going? Oh, Wesley says I came in late. What are we ordering today? Well, it's just if you're interested in doing some shopping, we have some new handmade jewelry up for sale. Let me pinch this clay and pet it a little. And then I can come show you guys what it is that we have that's new in the shop. So yeah, we just pinch it and then I'm petting it to kind of drag that tip up and then pinching it again. So pet, pinch, pet, pinch. Oh yeah. Pet, pinch. Oh, that one pulled a lot of material. So we can kind of just back it up a little bit. Okay, so what I'm working on here, this will become like this one here. And this is one of the pieces that we've just added to the shop yesterday and then that we're promoting today. It's one of our glow in the dark, because it's made from the same glow in the dark clay, with a genuine tiger's eye. And it does come with a complimentary stainless steel chain. I just haven't strung them up on them yet. I usually do that when they get sold. And we're packaging them up to send them to their new home. Oh, maybe. How long to bake? Yes, I bake mine for about 45 minutes. That's a really good guess, Eric. Ah, is that okay? So now we can sharpen these up by just using our craft knife. So I'm just going to trim and smush it. Trim and smush. And we can pet that down a little more. And if you don't want to trim stuff off, you can just kind of pat it with the knife. That works pretty well too, actually. Yeah, fortunately it's been a while since I've forgotten a project in the oven, knock on wood, but I'm usually really bad about scorching it by putting it in before the oven's preheated. Okay, so I'm gonna... Well, these are little dragon fangs because we've been working on our dragon sculpture over on our Kick live streams. That's Kick live streams. If you sign up for a free newsletter at backtoearthcreations.com, we'll send notifications whenever we go live. And that's whether it's on YouTube or over on Kick or anywhere, really. I've been working on this really big dragon sculpture, and it has taken way longer than I had meant for it to, which is okay. I just needed a break from it. So I started making these little dragon horns that like glue onto your face. And then I thought it'd be cool if we like gave it looked kind of like a tooth, so I was like, well, what if it had a root? And so yeah, it looks a little bit like a bear or eagle talon or something, maybe, or I don't know. I like it. It exists mostly in the realm of imagination. Oh, right on. No, these ones are teeth, but like I'll show you. Like these ones here. That's the dragon horns that we were sculpting. And they just glue on, but I wanted to test them out so that we could just see how they do before carrying them in our booth this vending season. So, but it's exact same concept. I just, from like here up would be the horn. But these ones I sculpted just a little differently, and suddenly now it's a tooth. because it's art and I say so. I do, Dee. I bake them at 275 degrees Fahrenheit for about 45 minutes, is how long I'll be baking these. And so I'm just gonna, holding very gently, I'm just sculpting in a little spiral. And then I want to make it kind of look a little bit like tree rings or like wood grain. And then I'm going to rotate it. And this is going to give us a really nice deep line for the antique, which is just a thick layer of acrylic paint is what I use. But same concept, just a little more paint put on it to make those details pop. Oh, wow. Isis Mommy says I've got some antler points that I think would work very well for this type of project. I bet. I wonder, does antler bake well? Because I've used it in the past using epoxy sculpt as opposed to polymer clay, just so that specifically so that I didn't have to bake it. But I guess that'd be something that's totally testable on like a piece that's like maybe a broken off piece of antler. Randy was so sweet today. He made me a sandwich before the stream, and I thought he was making like us sandwiches, but we were out of lunch meat, so he just made me one. And he just melts my heart. He's such a sweetie. But I've got a roast on in the crock pot, so hopefully he'll be good and hungry for dinner. I'll have to get him to shred my cheese. Eric says put the antlers in a jewelry clay as the clay will protect the antler from the heat. It's used when we do torch work and the gems cannot be removed. Oh, okay. Yeah, that should totally work, huh? That's good thinking. Thank you so much for the tip. I usually refrain from baking antlers. It smells like burning hair if it gets too hot. Gotcha. I wonder if that jeweler's clay would help prevent that. It's officially above my pay grade. And you don't have to carve a spiral. You could carve whatever you want. I just love spirals. They're my favorite. Do 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 do. But yeah, I'm hoping. Shoot, we were supposed to have an auction in March. So like how right now, it's the end of February. And we had a jewelry shop update, which is basically a lot of the stuff that we made here in our Friday streams. Well, in March, we're going to have something very similar but very different, where it's a live auction. So we'll be taking things from our booth inventory and anything that I get made this month, and those will be going up into our auction gallery throughout the month. So that's definitely something that if you're interested in treating yourself or getting an early start on Christmas presents, or just you want to get some one-of-a-kind handmade jewelry for yourself, just wanted to let y'all know to sign up for our newsletter. Do 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 do. Boom. Oh my god, I feel like that went by so much faster than doing one at a time. And sure, I think they look great. They are not perfectly symmetrical, but they did not need to be. Well, hey Adrian, how's it going? Okay, so does anybody have any questions or anything? I'm going to take a little bit of a craft break, and I just wanted to hang out with you guys for a bit. Got to stretch the neck and shoulders. Got to give the hands a break from holding on to pliers and tools. You can boil it though and straighten it in a vise if you need to take out light bends and tines. There's a few tutorials on that practice on YouTube. Oh, that is super cool. But yeah, I think it'll be the last weekend in March. But again, keep an eye out on our newsletter. When painting them, do you wipe off extra? I do. And we actually just recorded a tutorial, the end parts of it, earlier today. So you'll be able to see actually how we made this one. This is the one that we made in the tutorial. So I put the mica powder on it before baking it. I just kind of brush it on. I wear my respirator. And then it's baked. I paint it with bead and everything. I don't mind getting it on the bead, with just thick acrylic paint. I don't even add water to it anymore. But you can, but it'll give you a wash that you can really build on. I wanted like dramatic single layer paint. And so I just painted it on. I wiped off the excess, and I wear a glove while I do this. That way I don't have to worry about getting paint all over my hands. But then I took a clean paper towel that had a little bit of my 99% isopropyl alcohol on it, and I used that to really clean off the tip, because I've got some sunshine here that I can charge it up in. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see. No, you're not going to be able to see how it goes. I can though, and it looks cute. It's so cool. We will show you that more in the tutorial. But also, this is up for sale if you want a piece of your own, the little tiger's eye dragon claw. Or talon. I don't know. Is it a talon or a fang? This one's probably more of a tooth. But yeah, so we have those up on the website. But yeah, that's when I wipe off the extra. I hope that's helpful to you. So, well, y'all, I think I need to drink some water. Does anybody have any questions? I'm taking notes, says Enchanted. Right on. Well, we have new tutorials every Sunday, and I'm hoping to get to where I can post every Sunday and Monday, because I think those are the days that YouTube's like, this is when you should post videos. And I'm like, okay. And we'll just see how that goes. But I'm not going to be posting shorts as much because I think it's killing our channel. Like at least our long form videos. Like the shorts are doing great, but like financially we are devastated, because now it doesn't show our like show of hands who actually got a notification for one of our past like new tutorials over the past like 4 weeks. And it's like, because we were very lucky, but we got like about an average of like 500 views on each of those videos. And I was like, I don't think YouTube's sending notifications, or I suck and everybody hates me, which I almost wish that that were the case, because then that's like within my control somehow, that it's like I can just accept, okay, I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but I'm having difficulty accepting, why is it not why is this the way it is? Ooh, Eric says, no, I have to seek you out and I forget a lot. Right on. Margaret says, ooh, did I miss some intro? Maybe. We've been streaming for about 2 hours. I was just taking a little chat break to give my hands a break from sculpting. We are making some little sculpted polymer clay dragon fang jewelry today. And yeah, I was just complaining. But yeah, we're not posting shorts to YouTube anymore, but I will still be posting reels and TikToks respectively to like Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, just to see. But since I'm not going to be posting shorts to YouTube, I figured I would supplement with a like, instead of editing down the short so hard, I'll just make a 4-minute video that registers in the horizontal to try to like ease our way back into seeing if that works on getting people notified. So, oh no, Enchanted says I can't see you on Facebook anymore. They kicked me off. Oh no, but I can see you on YouTube. Right on. Ooh, Wesley says, what part of Missouri are you in? I travel from Virginia to north central Arkansas fairly regularly. Right on. Well, we live near the Joplin area, but we travel a lot to Springfield, and we'll actually be in St. Louis for Anime St. Louis. So we're always traveling around to different conventions. Well, for a while we were. We spent like the COVID years, like just being at home quite a bit. We got to have my niece over for the summer. One of my nieces actually lived with us for like a whole year. So like we had a whole lot of getting to be at home. But now we are going back out onto the road. We did our first vending event of the year was the Marth Market in Springfield, Missouri, and Moth Market. And our table got pooped on by a pigeon, which is, I guess, good luck, is what everybody told us. But I was like, lucky for the pigeon, I guess. But Kat says, true, I haven't seen a notification from you for a long time, and I just saw your live on my feed. And it's I don't understand it because we've been posting like every week.
Hey, Kat, do you have the bell turned on?
Randy's asking if you have the bell icon turned on. So that'd be cool. But we're gonna flip this around. We're gonna get back to work.
I have it set to all, and I still haven't gotten a notification.
Oh, really? He says he has his set to all and still hasn't gotten any notifications, but that's why we do the newsletter. So, also, I just want to say I made some new hair sticks this morning out of some. I'd been wearing my blue lilies more and more because it's like sometimes you just have to grow a garden out of the top of your head. And so Brandy had seen these while we were at the store, and he was like, well, what about succulents? And I was like, oh, what about succulents? And so I'm so in love with my new garden do. Oh, you're so cute. I'm a grumpy dumpling, but uh I'm having fun, so thank you. That's very nice. Um all still no notification. Oh, I'm there. So I want to make a little headband that has like little mushrooms coming up out of it and stuff. Like, well, it's like I've got such a big head that it felt like a travesty. This is free real estate. I'm gonna put everything I can on here, and it's like strengthening my neck muscles for doing stuff like this. So I want to be able to like carry books and stuff on top of my head. I don't know. I have it in my heart, and I think if something's in your heart, we owe it to ourselves to try. You know? Like, why not? It's not hurting anybody other than me to wear all this crap on my head. But it's magical. It changes my mood. I have my little magic girl transformation where I put on my eyebrows and put a garden on my head. And then I can face the day. So I'll take it. And I've forgotten how to use tripods. There we go. There are things in the world worth fighting for, Frodo Baggins. I make hair sticks out of resin. Ooh, different ingredients added in to help with the intentions for the day and manifestations. Oh my god, I love that. Ah, Penny says I totally. Well, hey, Penny Marie says I totally love watching you. Have watched you for so long from the nail polish dragon eye Kabashan. Ah, y'all want to see? Y'all want to see a dragon? Field trip time. So these are what I'm doing to take a break. I love that rainbow. I love that dog. Look at this doggy yog. Oh, my good boy, my sweet man. Oh, what a good boy. Dragon. So this is something new. We still do the nail polish dragon eye thing. But this is what I've been working on over on their Kick channel. Oh, and she's wearing me out. I was supposed to be done with her at the end of January. But I don't know why I thought that. I only gave myself 2 weeks before that deadline. But she's going to be painted in like autumn tones and stuff. And all these glow in the dark. But yeah, I'm pretty excited. Just as soon as we get water, I'll have her painted. But she still needs some more detail in and around the eyes and like her snout, because you can see where I've been sanding. So I'm going to need to smooth all that out and get everything kind of good and ready. So, but that's That's our dragon. And that's our sea dog. Oh, my good boy. But yeah, so that's where the it all starts with the nail polish dragon eyes. And now look at us. I just love the rainbows coming in through the window. Okay, back into the tripod. Enough fun. Back to work. But that's really cool, Isis Mommy. Okay, so now we have these shaped around. And I'm just going to pinch on these ends. Oh, well, I'm so glad to have taught you how to do it, Enchanted. Amira says, Dragon Eyes were my first video, too. Aww. I got real burnt out on the smell of nail polish for a while, but I'm back at it. I'm learning moderation and work-life balance. Or something. And I'm going to do these ones different than the other ones just because I can. So I'm just smushing back some of that material. There we go. You know, I think I am going to bring that in just a little more. Excellent. I do like that. Yeah, sit with the window open and a fan. Yep. When I paint eyes, I just put on my overalls that are sprayed with permethrin to keep the mosquitoes off, and I'll just go outside but still have a fan and my respirator. Just because I think I got overexposed to the, what you call it? To the nail polish fumes. And so we're just going to come around. There we go. Oh, wow. Well, that'll be cool. Yeah, getting stuff in front of the right audience is a tricky part. Isis Mommy says, thank you. I also make keychains the same way, and I'm thinking about making pens. I need to get them in front of the right audience to sell them, though. That is the trick, is getting in front of the right audience. It's like, try anything and everything till you find what sticks. Okay, so I'm going to come around here onto this front edge, just pinch, pinch, pinch. Shaping the, oh, I love that. Okay, I'm very pleased with that shape. I'm just going to leave it at that. Then we're going to hold this, and we're going to go pinch, pinch, pinch. And so that almost just gives it a really nice curved shape, just in and of its own. Digging it. Getting settled in my chair. Do, 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 do. Drinking some water. There we go. And so now we can come in and just use our needle tool. Woo, big bug. To add in some little texture lines. Ooh, Wesley says, I just ordered a new powered rasp for resin work, and regular masks doesn't work with my beard. Gotcha. Powered respirator? Oh, I bet that's nice. I hope that works out wonderfully for you. But yeah, just using the needle tool to press and scrape. And y'all, I don't have any formal sculpting background. I barely even consider myself a sculptor until here recently. It all started with jewelry making. So it's, you don't have to be something to do something. You don't have to be an artist to make art. Like, that's, It's a thing that you become by doing, not a thing that you have to be before you can do. And I think everybody's artists anyways, but boo. Well, hey, Kelly. Kelly says, I love your work. Oh, thank you so much. I love working with polymer clay too. Right on. Do you have any current projects in the fire, so to speak? Anything that you're currently inspired by or working on? And we can probably just come in here and do some that just have a little. Oh, that's so nice. Because not everybody's going to totally dig the spiral thing, I bet. I mean, it's okay to be wrong. Just because it's my favorite, that's okay. But we can just add some texture like that. Just with the texture on the handle. Kind of super digging how it like really flattens out the sides too, like rolling pin style. I bet if we had some little gemstones or something that we could set, that'd be really fun. We might have to make like a more extravagant version at some point. So there's those. Oh, I'm still going to put a spiral on them just because I love it. Oh, Wesley says it's bound to beat sucking resin fumes because my mask doesn't seal. That's a good point. That's a really good point. It's got to be better. So yeah, don't feel like that just because you experiment or just because you're committed to doing something means you can't experiment within that project. There we go. Just scratching some little lines. Oh no, Kelly says, I've been sick, but I love covering glass with clay mixed with clear and then make candles. Oh, I bet that looks so cool. I bet we have time for like one more pair of earrings. We already have the clay conditioned. So what color should we do next? Or it was going to be Unakite, wasn't it? Bye, Mare. Have a great rest of your evening. I think we had decided on the Unakite. But don't worry, we'll be making all of these and then probably posting some of them into March's auction. Kat says you bake them with the bead in it and the heat doesn't mess up the bead. Well, I'm going to be experimenting. Historically, like these ones, the Unakite and the Tiger's Eye, they baked just fine because we're only baking it up to 275 degrees. And I'm not like shocking it into cold water or anything while it's still hot. So, but I wouldn't bake it if it's like these ones are glass pearls. I'm going to risk baking these, even though this is like a Swarovski glass pearl, and I'm worried that it might ruin it, but I gotta find out. And my hope is that I'll just ruin it uniformly and it'll look on purpose if that happens. But yeah, so also I wouldn't bake amber, like fossilized amber resin. And I would try to avoid maybe turquoise. I'm probably pushing it with the azurite malachite just because I haven't baked that before, but whoop, I think it'll be all right. Ooh, Wesley says I'm heavily invested in heavy copper torques and bracelets recently. Right on. Oh, and this is perfect. The little wire bit that we had snipped as like our reference wire, that length really did work out to be just about perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and cut off 2 more snips because I've got quite a few more of these earrings to make. So there's 1 and 2, and then I'm still going to save that same one as like my measuring stick on that little tile. And so I want to make sure that both of the ends are flat. Yeah, they are. I'm just lining them up. And then I'm going to come in with my flat nose pliers, and I'm going to do a nice 90-degree bend. Ooh, Kelly says, you are motivating me to ask my hubby to get my things since I can use a TV tray in my bedroom. Oh, Kelly, what are you going to make, I wonder? That's so exciting, and thank you to your hubby for being so caring to you. If I was bedridden, I'd probably chew my arm off at a boredom or something, but is what I'm afraid of. I need you to do a tutorial on how to photograph your products so that they look like on Instagram. Gotcha. Well, we actually do have a tutorial for that, but it's an older one. The best advice that I can give is to go outside on like a sunny day, but stand in the shade. And so you'll have a lot of really nice ambient light. And then just set it on like, it a lot depends on your aesthetic. Like you could set it on a pretty rock or a nice big leaf or just an open piece of, like if you have like a wooden deck, um, you can kind of set up a little scene and then just use a tripod if you can so it's nice and stable. Um, and then take a picture, and if you look at it and you're like, oh, it's terrible, I don't like it. It's like, well, okay, well, what don't you like about it? And then that will help you to fine tune how to improve. So hopefully that's helpful to you. And also, if you see somebody else's pictures of their artwork, like how you brought up Instagram, is there something in particular that you like about, a particular, post that somebody does? I would kind of make note of that because there are some of them where it's like, I really admire Abbey Road collection. Her wire wrapping is really, really beautiful, but also the way, like the area in her house that she takes the videos and pictures of her work. Like I draw great inspiration from like how she'll hold something on her hand. Now I've got like hairy gorilla arms, but she has very beautiful hands and wrists. So she'll have like, her jewelry will be hanging, like this or something for like in the picture, and it looks beautiful on her, but to me, my hands look silly. Um, but it's still like I took notes on the background. Like I too, I have a plant. I have a plant that sits there that I can take pictures next to. So, and it was like, so yeah, just things to make note of and what you admire about other people's work, and then cherry pick, see what you can adapt or improve on for yourself. The little thing hopped out of my tripod. Okay, so now we have both of these bent at a 90 degree. Now we're just going to turn and make a nice little spiral. And I like for the spiral to be nice and open because then we will be able to get the clay to bind between it. Like when we smush it on there, I want it to be difficult for it to pull out. That's the whole point of doing like this shape. Isis mommy says, yes, I do most of my crafting on my bed with my lap tray. Nice. Doo doo. There we go, making a nice little spiral. And now the way we had made this originally is I think we had smushed it flat onto the table. And kind of just pressing with my fingers. Hey Illumination Goddess, how's it going? Just leaving a like for the algo piece, Vaughn. Well, thank you for popping by. Just for some shameless self-promotion, we made a thing. They're like little glow-in-the-dark tiger's eye fang beads, like pendants, and we have a tutorial coming out in the coming week on how to make your own, just FYI. as you pleasantly stop by to pollinate us. I appreciate you. Tickle my buttons for the algorithm. Okay, so from here, I think I'd taken it and was like pinch and pinch, just pulling kind of like up and in. Pinch, still lying down, gotcha. Oh, get to feeling better. So pinch and pinch. I kind of like it almost without the bead on there. So pinching and then pinching. And so that was like the little shape. And that was when I was like, well, we gotta put a bead in there. And so then we take it and then we smush that on in and then we squish it. Perfect. Oh, that is my favorite way. I like that better than the other way we were doing it. Look at that. Wow. Oh my gosh. And then we smush and squish and smush and squish and smush and squish. Break it down there. Boom, 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 smush and squish. Yeah. Where the did that come from? Oh well, I had fun. It came up out of nowhere. It's a happy little thing. It is. So let's see if going like that. Oh, that makes me happy, maybe. I don't know. I don't think I like it. Biolumination. Nah, I hate it. I just want to squish it and make it go back. Yeah, I like squishing them so they're all flat like that. And then you guys, we're gonna cut them with a knife. It's okay. That's all part of it. Now, I don't feel like we have nearly as good adhesion to the polymer or to the bead by the polymer clay on this one, but I think it'll be just fine. Right on, Molly. I hate to bum you out, but I don't think we'll be working with the peach ones today, but I will keep you posted. Okay, and so now we can check and make sure, are they a similar length? Pretty similar length. Oh my goodness, I dropped it. Well, hey Constance, how's it going? And so that one's going to be late to the party. What are the beads that you're using? Right now, Kathy, I am using unakite beads, but we have some azurite malachite that are more azurite heavy, azurite malachite that's more malachite heavy, and then tiger's eye beads. And we actually have a tutorial for a larger pendant version of this design, but the steps and techniques and materials remain the same. These are just a little smaller for earrings' sake. We have a tutorial coming out this week. Ooh, Wesley says you give me hope. I am in the figuring out what to do when I launch my channel. Oh, good luck to you, Wesley. Running a YouTube channel has been simultaneously one of the most amazing and horrible things of my whole life. But I'm learning so much about myself and how to be patient and how to persevere even when things fall completely apart. But, you know, it is what it is. I'd do it all again. I would do it all again. There we go. Got those little whoop, whoop, whoop texture lines put in there. And then I do a long one and then a short one. And I am making sure to lighten up on whenever I'm doing a long, like, I don't want it to just be the same depth all the way down. I like to make it a little shallow as I get closer to the tip of the tooth. I just let up on the pressure, and that gives us a really nice taper that's going to come in handy, or it's going to become a lot more visible and apparent whenever we put the acrylic paint on as like the antique. Oh, Molly says these are beautiful too. Well, thank you. I will be keeping my eye out for the other ones. It's such great craftsmanship. Do you sell these as well? I do. So far, we've only added the larger, like, Fang pendants to the website. But I think these guys will be going up to the website and also quite possibly into our March auction that we'll be having at the end of March. But they'll probably go up onto the website first. Wesley says, do you do your own editing for your videos? I do. And I think that's probably one of my biggest problems is I'm not good at editing. Like, I don't enjoy it. And therefore, I don't put the time in to get any better. I'm like, good enough. So, like, if we ever start, like, really thriving as a business again, Randy and I have talked about it, that we're going to hire somebody to do our editing because I just want to craft. I didn't want to have to run a social media channel or five. I didn't want to have to spend 2 days of my week editing. Like I'd rather be crafting. Hey Holly, she said, "Ooh, an auction. Yes, at the end of March. We'll probably be auctioning off everything that we make in our Friday streams up until then, as well as anything else I can get made and maybe some stuff from our inventory." So we'll have to see. I also think I might have some old lampwork glass beads up for auction. Um,
Rest well, Barbie.
Night night, Barbie. Thank you so much for coming and stopping by. It was so good to see you and then just to know that you're okay. We'll send you an update email tomorrow. I look forward to it. Wesley says same. I like filming, but I hate editing. Um, Good luck. There's got to be easier ways of editing than what I do, but like CapCut seems to work really well. I think a lot of it depends on, you know, just your recording style. I have a tendency to just click go, and then I've got like 12 hours of footage that I need to make a 1 minute video out of, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Um, but you'll find your way. And it doesn't have to be perfect right out the gate. Consistency is the most powerful force in the universe. So just get started and keep at it and you'll do fantastically. Looking at Fiverr, really? Ooh, well hey short stack rage monster. It just popped in. What kind of clay are you working with? I am working with Sculpey Primo. That's glow in the dark. And these little talon or fang pendants that we're making. This is what it looks like when it's all said and done, but a bigger version for a pendant. And so it just it's not baked and doesn't have the paint on it yet. But I want to come in and make I'm going to deepen that line. Just because I don't want to undercommit to the details, That's going to make it look. Ooh, oh, well, thank you so much. They're stunning, so creative. Oh, thank you. We were making like how I'm wearing on my forehead. These little dragon horns in last week's live streams on Kick. And so we started making them, and then it started turning into what if we made it into like a tooth? And then it developed into this. But it doesn't seem to affect the beads in a negative way because we're only baking the polymer clay at like 275 degrees Fahrenheit. So and we're not like shocking it into ice water or something afterwards. So unless I'm using something that's resin stabilized or like genuine amber, I don't really worry about baking it. It seems to do fine. What's wrong with that dog?
No. I showed him what I'm working on. It's not eatable.
Yeah, he's grunting at you like he wants your food, but you're just making chainmail.
Well, I just let him out not too long ago.
Okay. Okay, so we enhanced a little bit of that the detail there, and now I'm just going to carve in a little bit of a spiral. Whoop. Doggo. Oh, well, thank you, Short Stack says the horns are adorable. How do they hold onto your skin? With just some spirit gum. You could also use Prose Aid, and I've even seen folks successfully use eyelash glue. to glue their little horns onto their head. But I'm testing them out as a new product for in our booth for our 2026 vending season. But also just on myself because I kind of want to dress up as like a dragon fairy and go to some of the local conventions and stuff and like but have Randy dressed up as my pet dragon. Um, it's nothing weird, I promise. But we sculpt like dragon headdresses and stuff too. But so I don't know, just having fun, being creative. I get so bogged down and overwhelmed sometimes with like I've got all these ideas and I feel so trapped by the shame of not having acted on them. And it's like, well, that's like counterproductive in and of itself because it's like if I keep getting stuck in that feeling of, oh, I suck, I never do any of the ideas, then it's like, then I'm never going to start doing them. So I'm going through a whole lot of just having to let go of stuff. Oh my god, that'd be so cool. Paleo punk? I've never heard that term before, but I love it. What? You're like me, collecting hobbies is my hobby. Well, yes. 100% yes. And that's a really great way of putting it. Oh, and that's what I'm hoping for is Ren Fair season is right around the corner. Let's all get hornified and put our fairy pixie horns on and just go out and wreak some mischief. There we go, just carving in a little spiral. Oh, that makes me so happy. Guilty. Collecting hobbies and buying yarn that I'm never going to use because it was expensive and is beautiful, and then I won't have it to pet. Well, hey, Wanda, how's it going? Just kind of carving gently around. I really find it's helpful to have, like, my finger, if you can see, one hand is supporting on the other hand, and that's really helping me to have a little bit more control over, and not just the up-down axis, but like the side-to-side axis, and then the depth axis. Like, it's getting some calculus level, like, geometry stuff up in here, but if I were a little CNC machine, it really helps my hand to be grounded against my other hand. Well, thank you, Wanda. I just learned the word paleo punk, and I think I want to make paleo fairy punk stuff for the rest of my life. So it's official. That's what I'm going to do with my life from now on. Alrighty, you guys. I've sculpted all the things that we had prepped. I'm going to put them on a folded up paper towel and hope it doesn't catch on fire because it hasn't so far. So I take that as a good sign. And I'm going to bake them for 45 minutes. Do you think we could get away with shorter? Because like this guy, I baked for 45 minutes and you can see how much bigger he is than the other ones. But I don't know. We'll see. But I'll probably bake them for, let's do 35. Because it says 30 minutes per quarter of an inch. And I think that should take care of it. And so I want to show you guys just a few more of the things that we do have for sale at Back to Earth Creations. And the longer you want me to keep streaming, keep asking questions because otherwise I might log off early. You could make a yarn tribble out of the yarn you have. That way it could provide emotional support and be a pillow. Do you have a pattern? Because that sounds perfect. That sounds like exactly, I just want the yarn, the skein of yarn, but as a pillow. So a plush mellow. I want a DIY plush mellow. I'm gonna have to do that. So this is one of the necklaces that we have for sale up at our website, backtoearthcreations.com. And if you find yourself in a shopping mood, use coupon code HAPPYCRAFTER to get 10% off your order. This is the sister piece, and it features our handmade, or homemade rather, fused glass hololith like a donut bead, which I love, like as little monocles. It's one of my favorite things whenever I find rocks with holes in them, is to just hold it up and look at whatever catches my eye. through the hole in the rock just to see. It's like a little fairy monocle. But I really like these ones. Sometimes it gets a little weird on the neckline. That's okay. So there's those two. We also have the couple of... Hey, Randy, could you help me?
What you need?
Could you bring me the blacklight flashlight?
Yeah.
Ah, we're gonna see him glow. So this is one of the pendants that we have for sale. This one has some unakite and a really beautiful quartz inclusion. Isn't that neat? Just right up there on the top. Thank you. Do you see that glowing?
That is pretty cool glow.
That is pretty cool glow. Also, check this crap out. It's bright in my eyeballs.
Then don't look at it.
I can't help but look at it. So, I love you so much. Oh, on your shirt? Yeah, we like stuff that fluoresces around here. But, can we see it glow, I wonder?
Wait.
How do we... Gosh darn it, I'm real bad at this.
No.
Oh, put it back. You saw it for like a split. Oh, I bet we could turn this light off. Okay, let's try again. That looks so badass. I mean, cool. That's so nice. And it really holds its charge, you guys, whenever it's out in like the real life sunlight, not just like a flashlight. Thank you, baby. So we have that one looking for its new home. And if you want like friendship necklace with a buddy, or if you want to turn them into your own great big earrings, oh my gosh, I need that. Oh, if only I knew somebody who makes these. That's me. I could make my own. Well, those are the earrings we just made. So yeah, there's those two. And then we have these ones with the tiger's eye beads. These glow in the dark as well. And then this is our other one. This one might be my favorite. Just I'm really pleased with how the shape and everything. This one was the first of all that we had sculpted. And then we have some of our hand wrapped fused glass, which just to let you guys know, if you didn't know, if you weren't here earlier in the stream, it's day 32 without running water, and we have not made new cabochons for March. Fortunately, we had made an abundance in January for February's kits when we did have running water. So the March kits are gonna have grooved cabochons, and we're sending out wire instead of polymer clay. But the glass cabs will be more or less the same just because that's what we have. Oh, Short Stack says, what happened to your water? I'll show you. So, Winter Storm Fern came through and we got some really... I'm locked in my house. Okay, there we go. We got some really cold weather and the water line in from the road. There you can see. That's my front yard, you guys. That's my water main line in from the city. And then it's just... We're waiting on the plumber. Like, he still hasn't gotten back to us today because he had put in all stuff, but it was only 2 feet deep and it needed to be 3 feet deep. But he didn't, it's going to get resolved, but it's entirely our responsibility. We've had people be like, I'd sue the city. And it's like, it's not the city's problem though. They fixed the crap. I went with the wrong plumber, who was not, it just is not completely communicative. And so it'll be like, it's been, oh, well, we'll get this on Tuesday. And then there was some scheduling conflict between him and the contractor or him and the inspector. And so it's like, it's just been one thing after another. And it's inconvenient at best because, or at worst, it is just inconvenient because our friends had opened their home to us so that we can go and fill up, our water jugs at their house. So every couple of days we go and get about 40 gallons of water. In all of our, like, we already had the containers and stuff from when we go camping. And then we take showers at their house and we can get free showers at the YMCA too. But it's been so expensive. and that it's ongoing, we're like, how much more, how many more rounds do we have to go? Like, and I feel like we're in the final rounds because we've spoken to the inspector. We've, like, had gotten some good advice from some friends and acted on it, and so we're a lot more informed. But it's like I made the mistake of just trusting what he was saying at face value. um Short says, what happened to your water, girl? The way I gasped. No, it's, I'm just tired, man. Like, can you find another plumber? We haven't yet because we are so close. Like, this is not going to sound, the last step is getting 4 feet of the concrete foundation drilled through, because that's why he had only done it at 2 feet deep. Was this is where, like, the bit of the wall was that has, like, the windows. He went in through next to one of the basement windows. Right below that, the wall, like, stems out this way. So he has to drill through the much thicker part, and he didn't have the drill bit, and so he ordered the drill bit, and it was supposed to get here yesterday, and then it didn't get here yesterday, so we haven't heard from him today. So it's like, but man, we're real close. And I do have another, the licensed plumber that we got into contact with through this guy that we've been working with. um I now have his contact information directly, and we do have it lined up that if this does not work out with this guy, then we're just gonna go to him. And he's like, but I'm trying to retire. And I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm very grateful that you're not retired yet, because I need a plumber with a license to get this hooked up. Because, like, for like 3 weeks, the pipe's been run. I wasn't aware that it wasn't deep enough for code, but now we're very familiar with the code. Um, but it's been like this far away. The end of the pipe, like, I'm that far away. Wesley says, wish I were closer, I'd do the bore for you. Dude, we're halfway to the point of, like, we're just gonna buy the bit ourselves off. It's like a $200 bit. Uh, and then another, like, but it'd be expensive, but I'm over here like, I might be able to use that in some of my sculptures if I need to do a hole through it for any particular reason. Like, I want to make concrete fountains and stuff. So I'm like, I can always find a way to justify an expensive tool. Like, not to brag, but your girl can spend some money on craft supplies and stuff. But it's very kind of you, Wesley. Thank you. Ooh, Enchanted said I set up my painting canvas area to have a downtime. Ooh, Randy and I will sometimes do paint by numbers together, because he'd asked, do you do that too? And I really like when we do paint by numbers. We just haven't made the time for it lately, not in a while. But Short Stack says running water is so important. I can't believe they're dragging their feet on this. Yeah, we're being as good a sports as we can, because I believe in being the customer that you want to have. And I know I drop the ball a bunch, and I'm always really grateful when people are very patient with me. And the gentleman that we went with is quite young, and while he has done this kind of work before, like, as far as plumbing goes, he hasn't done it within the city limits. So he was doing things that were passing when he's working, like, out in the county. Um, Use it then return it. No. I'm not gonna do somebody dirty. Nobody wants a half-used, busted up 4-foot drill auger. Like, but I'm just tired. I'm just tired. I'm ready to get this resolved so that we can, because we can't pay our taxes until we know how much this is gonna cost us, like, in the end. And so and Randy and I usually like to have our taxes paid by now. But we're holding off on doing that, and we don't know how much we'll be able to put back into our emergency fund. Like, we can't move forward until this is resolved, is how it's starting to feel. Um, I shall Balder the Balter of it finally worked to give you extra luck. Dude, thank you. I get spending money. I just ordered a new Fordham TX from Rio Grande. Oh, that's a really nice tool. I hope it does everything that you want it to. But yeah, I don't mean to complain. But Randy and I, we're tired. Butts are stinky. Morale is low. Nah. It's been, honestly, pretty amazing. Like, it's forced a lot of slowing down. It's been a wonderful opportunity to practice patience and gratitude. Because it's like, when things, for a little bit there, things were going so smooth that I was like just having anxiety, and like I call it my hamster pulling its fur out. Um, like I was just like, when's the next bad thing gonna happen? And but so I wasn't even able to enjoy the good times as much as I would have liked. Like I was very aware of how unnecessarily stressed I was being, but that didn't fix the anxiety, if that makes sense. So this, a very real trench of a problem, has totally hit that reset button hard, like lizard, lizard, lizard. Like just I am cleansed by fire with this stress. Like it put everything else so much into perspective. And so I'm like, thank goodness that like the last time I had a hard reset like this was when our niece and her mama got into a car wreck on their way down to help us at Dragon Con. I had been so stressed for so long that that was just like my state of being. And then when we got the phone call from them, they'd been into a wreck, but that they were okay. Oh my God, everything else fell immediately. All of my ducks fell right into a row of what was a priority and what was going to be perfectly fine. And like, so I went into like this stress zen state. So I'm almost back into that stress zen state. Um, but also I'm tired and want my plumbing fixed. So we'll figure it out. But hey, Lita, how are you doing? You have every right to be upset, honestly. Water is required for us to live. I don't think my being upset, I don't think sharing my upsetness with the plumber is going to make him any faster. So I'm just being patient until we get through it. But I'm ready. I'm ready for running water. No, you can live about 40 days without water. No, well we have water. We just don't have running water. So like we've spent like $70 at the freaking laundromat. Like I'm gonna stop wearing clothes if it keeps being this expensive. Um my husband just goes, "Promise?" Is that because you're tired of doing laundry?
Whatever you gotta tell yourself.
Whatever you gotta tell yourself. He's such a sweetie. But but no, it's just inconvenient and I really want it to be resolved so that it can be resolved and I can know whether or not we can spend money on other necessary things like taxes. But naked. But yeah, so I think we're gonna go. Unless anybody has any questions. If you guys keep asking questions, we'll stay until 6. So keep the questions coming, you guys. Oh yeah, I've been there when everything piles on and your body just goes, yeah, we're accepting this. We're exhausted. Right? It's just going with the flow. I'm just letting go and going with the river. But then I'm really glad that it happened when it did because like we got a walking pad, which I call my hamster wheel. And like a week before the water line burst. So if we had known that the water line was going to burst, we wouldn't have spent that money. But I'm glad that we did because like I just go and when I've got too much stress, I just go on my hamster wheel and like my niece shoots like little vlogs and she'll put them like in the family Dropbox so that we can watch. And it's like it's just so nice. I'll put that on so it's like being on the phone, but I don't have to be worried about like heavy breathing. So I'm on the treadmill and the loud treadmill. Like but yeah. So I've been running on my hamster wheel. Uh we'll get through it. It's not been the worst time of my life. I'm just ready for running water. Oh, burn it off. We got caught in a rainstorm at Byron's Tank camping in Michigan in the downpour and it took almost $140 to get everything dried out. Oh, at a laundromat. Well, hey, Gix, how's it going? I remember you. Randy, we need moderated. Thank you.
And I agree with him.
He said that about my last shirt, too.
I still agree with him.
Randy says I still agree with him. Oh, bless the trolls. Ah! There's a horn in my eye. Caught it, though. But yeah, this is why I think our spirit gum needs refreshed. Like I need fresh spirit gum because It just barely holds on there. But yeah, I feel so naked without my horns. I'm making chicken and noodles for a friend getting out of the hospital. Oh, bless you, Holly. I bet they're gonna love that, especially after the hospital food. But now I got like sticky spots. But that okay. I'll go take a bird bath. But yeah, you can see how we made it like kind of convex in there. And I don't actually know. No, yeah, it sticks all the way. Maybe. Yeah, it sticks. Well, that's cool. I want to make more prosthetics. Alrighty, y'all. We're going to go. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. We will be streaming on Kick tomorrow from 3 to 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Be sure. What's up, honey?
Look who it is.
Oh, he made another account. Oh, bless your heart. Bye-bye. Ciao. What about making them with a small spot for magnets? That's a really good idea. I think I would just like hot glue a magnet on though. But we'll see y'all 3 to 6 p.m. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday over on Kick. We have a new tutorial coming out on Sunday on how to make those. I just put things all over it. Actually, should we do the horn one first or the fang one first? Because I haven't edited either of them. Y'all let me know. I'll do whatever you guys tell me. Should we do the horn tutorial or the fang tutorial? Horns, right on, short. We'll do the horns one on Sunday, and then Monday we'll have the fang ones. So that'll be fantastic, I think. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out. Mwah. Happy crafting. Bye-bye. Boop. Did I click the button? Yeah, I clicked the button.